Ollie, dude, how you doing today, man?
I'm all right. Busy in the thick of everything.
Yeah, you
Pretty
guys,
stressed, but yeah, we ball.
we ball, dude. Yeah, I mean, album announcement time's always crazy for bands. You know, it's stuff they worked. How long have you guys been working on this one for?
About 4 years,
Oh,
like since the last one. Yeah, like if you look at it in increments over time, it's literally been about 4 years through like everything we've been through and everything we've gone through. It's like if you traced it back to 2023, 2022 time,
mhm.
you can literally see that we were already working on it.
Wow.
Um, and we went through so many different phases of things and so many different ideas. Hence why everyone's like, "Oh, why does this band only drop singles?" And I'm like, because there was times where we were going through stuff like external to our control,
Hmm.
where I'm like, we literally can't put out an album now. Like it
Damn.
was, yeah, it's been a long road of learning, to be honest, because like we're not a band that's ever had a blow up moment or like a big internet success moment or anything like that. We're a band that's basically grinded since day one. Um, but like the it's like a slow but like intense kind of build. Um, and yeah, just running into like wall after wall after wall and like being able to maintain where you are these
Hmm.
day and age because everyone's like, oh, you gotta do a TikTok and do a sound and do a song and doing all that. And I'm like, we've never had a single one of those. And I also don't think I'm capable of writing songs for that to happen. Like, I'm genuinely incapable of it.
Yeah,
And
dude.
yeah,
It's a different. I just chatted with Matt from Boundaries, and
yeah.
he was speaking about that too, and it's just like, dude, I just will not do the fucking TikTok, dude. Like running through the train, like I will like die before doing that. Like I can't. I don't care at this point.
So this is my outlook on it. So I used to have this outlook on it where I was like, it's destroying music and it's the worst that it is, and it's the, you know, the spawn of the earth. And I will admit, I still think it is one of the most just like life ruining things to ever be created. Um, because it's just destroyed people's attention spans. It's just made people like addicts to dopamine and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's really like messed people's actual like internal like brain systems up a lot. But for the sake of finding new music, it's basically just become like the yellow pages for a
Yep.
new generation. And that's the way I kind of look at it, right? So I'm not gonna go on there and try to do the TikTok dances and try to do all this. Like, if my music blows up on there though, I'm gonna be like, right, cool, that's how it is. Like, you got to be on there to do it. It's the same thing as when like Facebook came about and all these old headbands were like, you know,
Yeah.
what's all this and all this other stuff, and it's like I don't know, like I Prevail back in the day when they were doing all the Facebook targeted ads and stuff, and then
Yeah.
that ended up becoming like, you know, the size of what it is now.
Yeah.
And that's all through social media. But there would have been people back in that generation at that point looking at that and going, oh, all this Facebook stuff. It's
Yeah.
just the same thing again. And honestly, for it to blow up certain bands in certain ways, I think is really, really, really cool because there's a lot of bands who've done it like and been in the game for a long time and grinded really hard who are now getting like really good comeuppance from it. Like Crowbar, for example.
Oh,
They're
sweet.
always a band that just done whatever they are and
Mhm.
been themselves and stuff. And then like TikTok kids, you know, have just like teenagers have just completely blown it up and it's like now they're selling out like big venues and stuff and it's like these are old dudes
Yep.
playing like old riffs and it's I don't know. It's really kind of sick. Like as much as I do think the app is the evil, everything that's evil in the world,
Yep.
I think it's everything that people who are like music and marketing, and that's the way they think about it. Is like music is business, and this is what it is. Like there's some gurus on there who I'd love to punch in the fucking face a lot of the time because I'm like, you destroy how kids in bands now be kids in bands because
Mhm.
it used to just be you turn up, you plug in what you know your guitar to whatever it is, and it's like, oh, I got this cool thing. Oh, well, I know this song. Yeah, let's play that.
Yep.
Oh, we're gonna play a show. Yeah, let's do a show. That'd be really cool. Now it's okay. We've got to plug it in, and we've got to market ourselves, and we've got to have branding, and we've got to do this, and we've got to
Yeah.
do the dances and have the sounds. And I'm like, this is wrong. This is the complete wrong way of doing things. It's like when we turn up to like a local show, and you've got someone with a whole IEM system, and they're one of six.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I'm like, we've become backwards in the way of learning because we're having gurus on like musicians and mix engineers and other people on the internet telling us what's right and what's wrong all the time.
Hmm.
And I'm like, ultimately, it just comes down to people wanting to make music.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff now that, in my opinion, people just get too attached to that doesn't really matter at all. That's why when I turn up and I see a band just literally plugging into an amp into a cab and it's like that's what it is. I'm like,
Hard,
thank God.
hard.
I'm like, thank God. Or it's like I see something go wrong on stage,
Mhm.
and then it's like that isn't there. Like the bass now isn't there for a couple of minutes while they're trying to figure it out. I'm like, you know
Yeah.
what? I'm buzzing about
I
this
mean, in modern metal,
because
sometimes it's more than a couple of minutes. It's just not there.
so, bro, I'll be honest. When I see I've seen it with bands where their setup is so bulletproof, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't even be able to tell if they're playing or not.
Mm.
Like if their guitar cuts out, they've got a backup that kicks in as soon as it cuts out, and I'm like, you may as well just not even play. Like if you're
You're right.
removing every single part of it is bulletproof to sound like the CD, to sound like the MP3.
Mhm.
Quite literally, what is the point?
Yeah, I mean, because the show is almost, it's this special add-on, if anything. It's like you have a
Yeah,
song. If you want to listen to the song, go listen to the song. I mean, seeing people perform it, sure,
yeah,
but then that's music videos. And then seeing it in person, people perform it is like such little value add in
yeah,
comparison if the goal is still just exact replication versus, hey, why not create an extra experience? And then it creates
exactly.
this thing that all feeds within itself. You know, obviously bands
Yeah,
all the time are like, usually on the vocal side, they're like, the vocalist will do extra shit live just because it's like, well, why not? Because it's cooler. And instead of just do exactly what I did on the record, you know, or the
yeah.
guitarist will fuck around or sometimes just fuck up. And that's cool. It has that authenticity of like what it's supposed to be, right?
Sure, yeah. I mean, that's the thing for us, and like we will play our songs and do it, and especially with this new album, it's the four of us in a room
Mhm.
making it together. Like it's not like how the last one was, where it's like sitting down at a laptop,
Yeah.
and me and Vin like going through stuff, and it's like, right, here's what the song is, and this is what we do, and then Sam would come in and play his part, and that's what it was. This time round, it was okay. Let's sit and jam this and do it properly. Like we're still using like a MIDI drum kit, so it's recording the MIDI in.
Right, right.
So that's all tracked and done. Then it's like, right, now we go through and pick tempos for things and figure
Mm.
stuff out. And we just did it in a way more authentic style. And I think to a factor of the record, it kind of it's what made it take a lot longer than
Yeah.
the last one. And I also think just balancing it with a touring schedule as well and doing it that way is a lot more difficult because we'd have to like get an electronic drum kit from Guitar Center or some shit and
Yeah.
be in the middle of an Airbnb that's nowhere near anyone else and like all this other like there was so many factors going into it to make sure it was right, but we made it happen and there was a good chunk of the album that was written in an Airbnb in Bastrop in Texas near
Oh, hell
near
yeah.
Austin, literally in the middle of nowhere. We rented it we were doing the Underoath Chasing Safety tour, and we literally started that tour in August and finished in December.
Mhm.
It was the longest tour. It didn't leave the States, mind. Like it
Yeah.
stayed in the US the entire time. And the only time off we had, we literally stayed in America and wrote on the record, which looking back, we're all just like, that was the stupidest thing we could have done. Like Underoath came back to the tour and they were like, yeah, man, we're buzzing to be back. This is gonna be great. We're all like,
Yeah. What the fuck?
I was literally like, I get me home like immediately. And we
Right.
had another, I think we had another like 7 weeks or some shit at that point.
Right. How,
It
how
was so
was
long.
how was that tour? And I might be jumping the gun here and making somewhat assumptions. Like, did you grow up a lot with like Chasing Safety or stuff like that around that
Never
era?
listened to Underoath until we started.
Really? That's
Um,
great. That's
because everyone was just like, "Oh, this sounds like Underoath," and I was like, I'd heard one or two songs
Mhm.
and like have friends who like them and other stuff like that, but literally, like, I at the time of it like starting and everything happening,
Mhm.
I was not really a fan because I just didn't know it.
Yeah.
And then people just kept saying it and saying it and saying it, and it was like, "Oh, you sound like it." And I was like, oh, "Fine, fucking, let's go then."
Right.
And then I'd listen to it and I was like, "Oh yeah, shit, okay, this is
It's, well, dude,
yeah,
it's this youthful energy from that time. Again, if you grew up in the fucking late '90s or 2000s, right? There were so many
yeah,
different styles of music, like whether it was the fucking new metal era, which at the time all was not cool, and now it's super
a
cool.
lot of the time." The good new metal bands to me
Mhm.
never classed themselves as new metal.
Yes, fair. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it was always just like it's a metal band. Like I don't know about you, but like, do you put Deftones in the new metal category?
it was always just shoved in there. And I think I think they're earlier, like Adrenaline, that era, right, where it was less of the shoegaze element and more of rap groove riff, right? Which almost, I mean, groove metal, right? It's basically groove metal more so than it was new metal, right?
Yeah.
But it's so lumped in there, and I think new metal became like the alternative version of like the fully fledged of groove metal. It was the less metal groove metal. It was the more
I
like
think it just it became the coin term for how Djent became the coin term for like progressive metal.
Yes,
you know, it was
100%.
Like as soon as you heard anything in a drop tune in and had opens, it was like, oh, this is Djent. Like I remember, like when I was a massive fan, like a massive Architects fan when I was younger.
Yep.
It was like everyone. What was the album?
Nightmares, like really
no, I'm proper blanking. No, it was like later on. It was like it's when I first started listening to him. The one with the one I'm gonna say the one with the A on it. They all have the fucking A on it, but like it's the one with like the spirals. It's the one with Naysayer on it and stuff like that.
Oh, fuck! Before Our Gods, I think it was the one right before Our Gods abandoned us.
It was before Our Gods have abandoned us. Lost Together, Lost Forever.
Lost Together, Lost. Yes.
Right. So yeah, when that came out, I remember like. I didn't have social media. Like the only way I listened to music because I couldn't afford like a streaming service is I'd literally just go on YouTube and watch music videos. Yep. So I'd like look in the comments and everyone's mentioning this Djent thing, and like I knew Djent from like Periphery and stuff like that. But I was like, I do not hear Periphery here at all. But like, you know, it's just the coin term for what people were using at the time.
Well, there's always something iconic from every genre. Like from Djent, I think it's just da 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 da. Just almost
ones and zeros and like everything that Meshuggah did.
Yes,
you know, just became the forefront of it. And then for me, like for me, Djent kind of fell in like this really horrible YouTube guitar world space where it wasn't like
I know that
songs.
I started back then, so I'm very well aware of the Djent bedroom guitarist. I did not help populate it because no one fucking knew what the fuck I was doing, but I was with that thing of tail of like, oh dude, like Axe Effects, oh that's cool, like what's this? Like I listened to P2, like, you know, so it's like that's like you have to like P2, you have to have a 7-string, you had to have an Axe Effects. That was, I think, a big part of the sound too.
Bro, we still use Axe Effects 2s now.
Dude, that's not here's in the living room. It's fucking great.
Because Vin was like way back in the day, like big Periphery head and stuff like that. So he was just like, right, well, you know, this works and this stays. And then stuff that he's managed to get out of there just from like musical knowledge, I was like, this is great. Then we looked at upgrading to the 3s, and there's certain stuff that they didn't continue over, and it was like,
I saw they released the 3s, and I was just like, I'm not spending this again. So I just I didn't even look at what it had. I'm just like, I have accepted. I'm not gonna get it.
I think also from a touring perspective as well, I think it's like 2U more of space in a rack. So I was just like, for us who keep everything on like a massive, we have to keep everything on a really low budget all the time. But it's like for us to just then have to go and get another rig, like another rack unit just for the heads, because we like squish everything and we all like share in-ear stuff, and like it's all split about. It just becomes more of a nightmare. So I think until the day happens where we can't physically find the parts anymore, because the amount of times I've seen those things opened up and he's like wiring in the top of them and like fixing them, like
it's a hell.
It can be insane. Like we literally had to do it before we played our first Paris headline. Like it just wouldn't power on, and like I use a quad cortex for my vocals and stuff. So me and George were like having to make him a bass patch because his Axe Effects in the back was just in bits, and it was like a capacitor that had blown, and Vin had to literally run to a shop, like talk like to a French guy barely and be like, I need this certain fuse to fit in this thing, and he's like, what?
That's not happening.
Managed to make it happen, and we played the show and everything was fine. So I was just like, thank God he can do this shit, because there's guitar techs I know who wouldn't even like dare to go in one of them because it's just a nightmare. Like,
I mean, now everything's easy, you know, digital plugins, digital everything. It's easy, and you can fucking get pretty close. I mean, you get nowadays. It's so funny. I remember in the 10s, it was like a big thing, like real guitar amp / cab versus like this digital shit, you know, as it was described. And like, especially if you were younger, you first of all just didn't even have an ear to notice the difference, so you genuinely no one actually cared unless you were older. And then the thing is, it became so overpopulated, and then also the digital stuff got better that it's like Sure, obviously, will anything ever be as technically good as the raw thing? No.
Yeah.
Will it be more convenient, less work, less expensive? Yeah, so if you care about that extra fucking 1 to 5%, you better get that fucking amp and cab. If you don't, fuck me. I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't seem worth the effort unless you just really want to do it nowadays.
I mean, you mentioned a really interesting thing there when you were younger and you didn't care about stuff. And I feel like this is a thing which in our camp we've been talking about recently. I feel like the golden age of that is now gone because of the thing that I was saying earlier where you've got everyone telling you information online all the time.
Of what to care. Yeah.
Everyone now thinks they know everything about everything, you know, and it's like I saw all that shit kick off with Boundaries and that mix of that last song that they did.
Fuck.
Right.
Yeah.
And I got so fuming because I was just like, I listened to it, right? I was like, I actually don't know what anyone's problem is here.
Dude, what do you mean? The snare needed an extra 200 hertz. Like, come on, bro. It's so obvious. And a 4K on the kick. Like, it's like, obviously we needed like at least 2 dBs extra of comp, man.
I read this one comment and it was like, I can hear the multiband kicking in when the drop's meant to, and I'm like, what the actual fuck are you talking about?
Yep.
I was like, these guys have gone to literally like a professional with this, paid X amount of thousands of dollars to get it done.
Yeah.
Like the problem here is everyone just wants to be critical about absolutely everything all the time.
Yeah.
And the minute they don't have anything to say because something's clinically perfect and absolutely fine, they just like oh I don't care because I can't make this about me. But like seeing like how much heat that track was getting, I was like, big up because it's getting all this like attention.
Yeah.
And everyone has that saying of any press is good press, whatever.
It
but
depends
was just,
nowadays.
It definitely does. But now everyone's just like, oh, you know, this mix is bad. This is this. And I'm like, you compare this to half the other shit you're listening to. It's exactly the same. Like it falls in the same realms. It pushes in the same way. Like, shut the fuck up. And then I saw them go and do like they did a remix it, like they
patched
redid it.
I talked with this with Matt. It was really fucking funny. He was like, we like literally patch notes. Like just like, all right, dude, plus this on the like they didn't list the patch notes, but like I wish they did. Like I think that would be really funny. Be like, all right, plus this dB here, plus you know, bass drop plus 10 dB obviously had to do it, guys. You know, like fucking why not, right?
Dude, I mean, right, look, I got an opinion on this. Okay,
hit me.
Them doing that. Like, this is no disrespect to them as people at all because I don't know them. But them doing that, I fear, is going to open the floodgates to this, like, entitlement now within the metal community where everyone's just like, if we kick off about something enough, the people are going to have to change it. Rather than, like, people dedicating themselves to a sound, dedicating to a thing, and then moving forward. It's like, if you look at electronic music, nothing sounds alike in electronic music because everyone builds their own things and goes from there. In this world, like, we all kind of grew up the same, where we listen to the same thing, and it's like the heavier and heavier and heavier it gets, and everything changes. And the minute something doesn't align with a mass, everyone's like, oh, this is bad. But I'm like, now people are going back to, like, 90s metalcore, which, for better for worse, was recorded like shit. And now being like, oh, this sounds unreal, this sounds great. And I'm like, right, that's the characteristic there. Yeah. And what I worry about now with this recent thing happening is the characteristics are going to get almost removed from modern day recordings because fan bases feel too entitled to give an opinion that can change things.
Yeah. Dude, it's so funny. I literally talked to Matt 3 days ago about.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm just repeating points that you've already.
It's great because it ties into like we had. It was a really fucking fun chat. And then obviously that just happened too. So we touched on it, and he had a really good perspective because that is always a concern. Like, okay, you kind of be like, okay, to the masses, like, sure, whatever you want, right? And then it seems like now, is this an expectation now instead of like a voluntary thing, right? Always of like, oh, if people don't like it, well. And how he worded, and I loved how he mentioned, he was like, look, it was one of those cases, we had discussed it internally, right? And they were just like, look, we have the version. So what, like, you know, most bands don't have it. I guess that's the big difference, right? Most bands don't have extra fucking mixes and shit. So it's like, we have it. So are we going to be hard for the sake of being like hard on purpose and just say, fuck you guys, even though we can technically give you this? You know what I mean? So that's when he explained it, I was like, okay, that definitely makes a lot of sense. Just like, they had it. Most bands don't. right? And then that's a weird thing of like, well, the band doesn't have it, and let's say then people were bitching about it, and then they have to change all their plans and all this shit because of that, and that is a scary precedent. I 100% agree with that. Right?
Yeah. Should have just doubled down on it and gone fuck it and just made it worse for a laugh, and then everyone's like, "This is so much better," and it's like, literally, fuck you, you know.
That is an opportunity to do that too. Yeah, it's so tricky. I mean, it probably comes from actually that Djent core scene that we were just talking about, because that's when like everyone became at home producers. I know, I'm aware of that.
It straight up is. That's literally the problem with it now. That's literally the problem with it, and it's bled into so much more. And what I think bands really need to do, and I know it's what we've tried to do on this last record. And I know what, like, on this record that we've just done, it's like you've got to find your own characteristics to be a band now. Otherwise, you will just blend in and be people pleasing. Like, we dropped the last song and there's people complaining about like all these fucking effect noises that I've made, or like they're complaining about the sound of the snare in the mix. And we all sit there and
snare,
go,
dude, is always a funny one.
We sit there and we just go, I literally couldn't give less of a fuck, unfortunately, because it's like, this is us sitting in the room and making it and doing it, and that's exactly what you're getting, and then it's just mixed to amp it up a little bit more, and it's going. If you sit there and fine tune everything and like EQ every single bit of individuality out of something, you're gonna lose, in my opinion, all the like artistic integrity of everything.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned Adrenaline earlier, right?
Yeah.
If the guitar tone didn't sound like a fucking 8-inch speaker with like nails cut into it, right?
It's so sick.
It wouldn't be the same record.
100%.
It's why when people go and remix and remaster old records, it kind of fucking gets under my skin a little bit, because I'm like, you don't have motherfuckers walking into the art gallery and going, oh, let me just touch this up, actually, I did the wrong color there.
I mean, you gotta fuck up the Mona Lisa. Let's go, bro.
This is what I'm saying. I didn't put an iPad in her hand. Give me a sec.
That's a hard update, dude.
This is but it's like it's the point I'm getting at. I'm like, you don't have you know, people coming back and going, don't worry guys, I've just remastered and rewritten Beethoven's music because he was just missing some sub drops. All right,
he couldn't hear those frequencies.
He couldn't hear the frequencies, and like, you know, I've owned a Quad Cortex for 2 years now, so I know exactly what the fuck I'm on about.
And on the topic of quad cortexes and SIG frequencies, you can go right now to neurodsp.com and use code Nocturnal Podcast to get 30% off all of their guitar plugins. You wanted some sick tones like Misha Mansour or Tosin Abasi or John Petrucci, it's all there. Be sure to pick it up right now. Again, link in the description below at checkout. Use code Nocturnal Podcast, 30% off. Back to the episodes.
I don't know. Some people, I see some comments, like, I try not to read shit, but people will just have a problem with whatever the fuck someone does if they just don't like them. And it's like...
I know this, man. I've been on the internet for many years.
Yeah,
bro.
no, I bet. Like, everyone's like, yeah, this sucks because of this. And it's like, okay, if this was a different band doing this, you'd be like, oh my God, I love everything about this. And it's like, right, okay. And I know you'll probably get this too as someone who's like on the internet. But like, one negative comment will outweigh 10,000 good ones.
Yeah. Well, because
it's weird.
What's wild is majority of people, and this isn't just copium of as a creative as in the internet, but most people, if they like something, they just don't give a fuck. So they go, they listen, they enjoy, and then they go live their life. They won't comment. Some won't even leave a like, because like it's not like they're trying to be mean. They're just like, oh, that was really cool. I like this. They'll add it to their playlist and usually just shut the fuck up, because like, dude, that's
maybe boundaries were onto something. Honestly, maybe it's just been a marketing thing this entire time. Maybe they were just like, let's battle the mix that everyone hates first, and then everyone would be like, I fucking hate this mix, and then it'll sort itself out. So I don't know. Maybe they were onto it.
It's one of those things. I had a lot of fun chatting with him. That dude is really funny. That was the first time I got to like kind of really chat with him, and it's those guys are doing sick things, just like what with you guys, man, and the new music and all that shit. And it's like, navigating, I think, through the scene. It's adapting in a very different way as it has, just like in the last 5 years, just like in the 5 years before that, where like, even from my end of like the content space, you know, like when I started this shit, oh my God, 2014, 2013, such a different space. You know, first of all, this wasn't a job. You can't monetize this. But now we are at the place where someone can go on Twitter, shit talk a band and make money, even if they're not any kind of, you know, creator. It's just like a random person can literally, if they get whatever 5 million impressions,
hate that shit.
can make $20 off of saying, this band is shit, and if they know it's a hot topic or something ChatGPT told them, they can literally make $50. And I mean, like, that's enough of an incentive if they have a shitty job.
Punk rock MBA type shit right there. Yeah.
Oh,
real shithead behavior. Yeah, no, I just hate the scope of the internet now, because this is the thing. People, and also this is a big reflection on guitar music these days too. It's like people will get into this to put money first.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times when you get in conversations with suits and people in the industry, they'll talk about like, oh, you market yourselves in a way, or you have this thing about you. And I'm like, I used to hear these things and be like, oh, well, that's room to grow. That's like room for this. And I'm like, the people who actually care about music, the people who actually are here for good intentions, and the people who are like looking for something in this, don't ever think, oh, how can I be marketed and how can I do this? And I just feel like the internet is slowly killing absolutely everyone and everything in this creative field.
Yeah,
you feel me? Like,
it's even on in my perspective, like this has been my job forever. It's sad that, like, because everything it's fun, you know. Like, I remember the 2000s internet. Like, the internet was not meant for anything other than memes, and they weren't even called memes. That wasn't a word. I don't even fucking remember when the word meme or term existed. It was like later.
Like the era where everything was like random.
It was just random as fuck. It was stupid. The internet was meant for fun, and that was cool, right? It was like, oh, sick, you know. Or playing like mini games on like stickpage.com or miniclip, whatever the fuck, you know, or like E-Bombs World, shit like that, right? It was like, that's what it was, the point of it. And then over time, that's obviously adapted. And then as it becomes more monetizable over the years, it becomes more corporate. And when it becomes more corporatized, it just gets this weird mixture of things and intentions that aren't anywhere similar. And it's so hard to relate to, even as for myself as a person that is part of this ecosystem. And nowadays, I have a lot of trouble relating to what's fucking going on now, even with things like shorts are the thing. Fucking obviously clips. Oh my God. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know, dude. I grew up watching some dude play fucking video games and chill out and like be bored and be broke as fuck in his parents' bedroom, or like, and I also grew up playing, you know, 2000s metalcore, melodic metalcore and music and shit like that.
Yeah.
And then I always have this conversation with people, like, I feel like I'm a fucking boomer now. Like it's weird for me, you know, because in my generation, I felt like that generation, which I'm assuming you're a part of somewhat that timeline of late 90s, 2000s, early 2000s in a capacity. Kind of?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Of like, dude, still went outside. So like, you touched grass.
Touched grass, yep.
Yes, right, which was awesome. But we had the internet for fun and for slight enhancement of communication, right? Like, I just talked with fucking Justin and from Talon. It was funny. We were talking, I was like, dude, used to like have AOL or whatever the fuck, like MSN and all that shit back in the day.
Okay.
And it wasn't like I'm on AOL or MSN all day. It's I'm gonna send a message to my buddy. Oh, sorry guys, we're going out and hanging. You know what I mean? Like, it was this mixture of technology. I think at that point in like just kind of was conveniently enhancing life versus now.
It's necessity.
It's
like
necessity.
it's like what do you mean you're not posting on social media? What do you mean you're not hitting these likes? And it's like you'll post something on your like business account or some shit like that, and you're like, oh, I didn't hit this reach, or oh, I didn't hit this account, and then you get fucking depressed from it. And I'm like, why the fuck are things that are on a screen? Why are digits on a screen the thing which determines my happiness these days? And like, just to backpedal a little bit, you were saying we're like looking at monetary value of people coming into creative spaces. Fucks me off so hard all the time, because I'm like, you come into this listening with your wallet rather than listening with your ears and with your heart and with your head, and like it's just saturating a space where people who actually want to try could exist. But instead I'm watching some fucking idiot like write the worst shit you've ever heard in your life, or like AI fucking songs, and I'm like, right, this is great. So just because someone wants to make a bit of money and like, you know, make more money than I do, immediately now this space on a lineup is filled because like something that won't exist 3 years from now is going to be there. And I'm like, right, okay, cool, that's really awesome. You know, there's been so many like opportunities and stuff that we've like opted out of because it exists in space where I'm like, this is all just people who don't actually care about music. They care about the image of music and they care about the money that could be made off it.
Mm.
And unfortunately now, me and you now both exist in a time where the shit that when we were younger we liked and got bullied for now is
Yeah.
like all the people like it and the cool people are
Yeah.
turning up and the businesses are investing in it. And I'm like, this is so fucking whack.
Dude,
Like,
it's fucking dude, why, like, again, you grow up, you gamed, you were weird if you gamed, like, you were the
yeah,
weird kid, like, and
you're a
I loved
freak.
being, I was like, yeah, I was just like, well, fuck you, like, I like gaming, so I will be weird because I like this thing, right? Like, I like to do this and waste my life
Yeah.
doing it. Or like fucking Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, dude. I went to I don't travel much, I went to Austin for something. In the airport they sell Pokemon cards in the fucking
I've literally
What
seen
the
those over
fuck?
there. I was like, it's because, well, this is the other thing. It's the influencer era of like, you can make money. And it's that thing again with thinking with your wallet first, because everyone's got to be rich. Everyone's got to be an influencer. The fucking manosphere bullshit that people are now driven towards to just constantly be richer than the person next to you. Because it's like people are getting Pokemon cards and it's exploiting like, it's exploiting a children's card game effectively here, and it's like I got homies who have stalls and shops, and they run this thing, and they do a really cool thing of whether at a games fair and a kid comes up and they'll sell to a kid cheaper than if an adult comes up because it's like you're doing this to
Oh
make
shit.
money. My man is coming up here because he wants to get his card to fill his binder, and
He
I'm
wants
like,
his
that is
Bulbasaur, bro. He needs that shit.
exactly. And I'm like, that's so important these days. But what worries me is now everyone's just becoming like hyper consumers and like how can I flip everything to make more money quick? And I'm like, right. I like things. I like tangible objects. I love collecting shit. It's literally like one of my favorite things to do, right? And I'm now seeing it with Yu-Gi-Oh starting to get more expensive like now, and I'm like,
Dude, fuck, why did I lose my Yu-Gi-Oh cards, bro? Fuck me, man.
dude, this is the thing. I always loved Yu-Gi-Oh more than Pokemon because of this exact reason, because it wasn't worth anything. I
Yeah.
just loved the art and I loved
Dude,
the
the art
games.
was so sick, dude. The legendary cards, if you even like saw one in person, it literally felt like you saw like a celebrity.
Bro, look, check this shit.
Yo, you got the legendaries, brother. I remember there was the bird that was yellow. I forgot their fucking names. The bird that was yellow. There was the red. Oh, red one was Cypher. Oh, you got blue eyes. Let's go. Let's fucking go, dude.
Fucking rogue.
That's hard.
Let's go.
That's hard, dude.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. I'm like, right, cool. I can just own these things, be a nerd, and it's cool. But now
Yeah.
I've got people entering this space and being like, oh, well, you can flip that for.
Right.
I get it, but everyone's just so desperate to make money rather than enjoy things these days.
That's a great way to say it. Yeah, it's instead of things being fun, it's always the fun isn't first anymore. Same thing with the internet, right? Like all that. Like it's unfortunately, I think we grew up in a time where the mentality was that like let's have fun. Life is life. That's cool, right? And like fuck yeah, you got to fucking pay the bills and rent, obviously, especially
Of course,
when you're an adult. But
yeah.
like making it so that is all of the focus instead of like actually like enjoying. Like who gives a fuck if you have your billions of dollars if you didn't actually enjoy any of your life when you were 60? Like I don't know, like that's such a crazy outlook, and it's something where also I see a lot of people now, like, it's always like well, how could I do this in space and get rich fast? And I'm like, literally the advice I ever give people to make any kind of money in the content part of the space, I'm like, actually do what you like, because then you're not gonna fucking quit after 3 months, so you have fun. And if you provide people value, right, with what you're doing because you actually like it, right, and you actually bring something unique to the space, you will be naturally chilling, right? It's not something you have to go out of your way and min-max every little detail of what the fuck you're doing or try to get this or this corporate head or this or this. It's literally give people something valuable of what you are, of your strengths, your identities, of what you've done for your life. And then that's great. People will want that. You make people's lives better then, instead of it be just focused on taking from them. Focus on giving people things instead of what can I get from them, and magically you'll make more money than fucking people would imagine. Like that's what's fucking crazy.
But people hate it because it takes a little bit more time to do that. And I think a good way of saying it, of like rounding everything up you were just saying then, is it's your authenticity towards everything.
Yeah.
And it's like the biggest approach we've done for this record is to be exactly that. It's like every single guitar that you hear is done accordingly, and it's through real amp, real head, real pedals. Same with the bass. The drums aren't quantized. Like there's barely any edits on anything at all. Like the stuff which is slightly out, the stuff which is like, you know, maybe a little bit not completely like in key or sharp or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like I look at Relationship of Command by At the Drive-In, and I'm like, there's an album that's just completely honest. In like, has my camera just fucking
It's
stalled
glitching.
there?
It's stalled there.
Oh my god, has it just died? I've just died on like the worst frame imaginable. I'd be dying on this hill. This is ass. And now I've just become a fucking advert, lad.
That is crazy considering the conversation that just happened.
Thank God.
Yeah.
We return.
We return.
Here we are.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like people. There's a lot of people that I kind of come across in the scene, and it becomes almost a transactional friendship sometimes. And there's moments where I'll notice it and I'll catch it, and I'm like, don't know if I'm really about this. Like I have always had this weird thing of like, unless I know you, I'm not gonna like. You know, wanna know you, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because like if people look at me online, they'll just see a perception of me online and then make a judgment off it, and I kind of hate that because I'm like, you don't actually know me until you talk to me and know me.
Well, dude, I think nowadays too, it's unfortunate that a lot of people don't seem to want to have conversations. I like, it seems like even like if I don't know somebody and they seem cool or chill, like, or someone said like, I want to I want to talk to them. I want to see who they are as a human. I'm not just gonna because someone fucking told me or a Reddit post told me about this person or this, but like I don't fucking care. Like I want to talk to the person and see who they are because that's who they are, not based on some dude said some random bullshit because they don't like them and then
I don't like them. Yep.
Yeah. Or nowadays bots, which is fucking everywhere.
Insane,
dude. Psycho.
bro. Absolutely insane. Well, I mean, this is the thing within like metal community that I find so much is it's surface level judgment, like, but like 127 dB. Like it's the loudest thing we can do, and it's like I'll admit, like I used to be very, I used to do it. You know, I used to be very much just like fucking immediately judge, and that's what it is. But it's only until like I kind of did some work on myself that I realized that. I don't know, not everything's kind of out to get me, and also not everything I have to have an opinion on sometimes. And it's, I don't know, like I find it in reactor community a lot as well, where it's just like you're immediately like, fuck this off the bat, or it's like love this off the bat, and before even digging with anything. And that's what I always find really, really, really fucking interesting. About people within this space anyway, because we'll have it where people don't know us and they look at me and they go, what the fuck is this? And then and then the band plays and they go, oh, that was dope. And it hurts me so much sometimes because I'm just like, oh, you took one look at us and wrote us off from there, and then we played, and then you were like, oh, you were actually really good. And I remember this one interaction I had with someone, they were like, dude, that was actually sick. And I was like, what do you mean was actually sick?
Yeah, right.
Like what? Like you expected it to be ass? Like, you know, it's interesting. I mean, I'll also say this as well. Do you remember the first time you ever heard Static Dress?
It was ooh, fucking hell.
Because I got sent a clip of it.
Oh shit! Really? Okay. Fuck. Was it
And you saw the thumbnail for Sweet, and you went, "Oh, what the fuck is this?" And then you clicked on it, and within 10 seconds, you just went, "Dope." And I was like,
"Yeah, hell yeah, bro!" That's one of those things too. With as we were just talking the internet, right? Like we go through things, and it's just like, okay, I know the aesthetic. I grew up near that type of aesthetic, even though if that's not the intent of like trying to revisit that aesthetic, right? You know, obviously as a human, you're like, oh, okay, I think I know what I'm gonna get myself into, and that's cool. Yeah. That's exciting, right? And then I think it's one of those things too, unfortunately, when you sometimes like have those mini expectations of those assumptions, and then they deliver in a really good way like that. I'm like, I mean, I like if this is kind of that 2000s vibe, like I grew up there, I like it. So like, let's see, 10 sec. fuck yeah. Like I'm happy you get teleported back, because for everybody too, it's one of those things where it's like, that's a relation with that music for myself too, right? I think a lot of people always bring that relation of like, oh, this type of music or this genre of music, and they bring it to the mass of like, oh, how everyone feels about it, instead of like, no, I grew up with that, and that type of music brings back good memories of my life, and that makes me happy in itself, that nostalgic portion of it. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, dude, I also, there's part of me which now is finding people running that into the ground, where it's like, I'm bringing nothing new to the table. Here's just some shit you already know as an attempt to like you, because no one's open-minded enough to like something new now.
Yeah.
And it's the whole reason we called Nostalgia Kills was because I was just like, hey, do you know you keep saying we're like this all the time? Here's a reality check for you that Underoath are not the same people that they were back then.
Yep.
And also people being like, this sounds exactly like Underoath. Like people like, this sounds exactly like Underoath. I'm like, it's crazy because there's so much of it that doesn't. There is so much of it that really doesn't. The thing which we get, which the sounds like Underoath thing, I think it is it's the sound of authenticity, and it's the fact that there's both singing and screaming, and the fact that there's songs which are open 3/8. That is literally
open. I love that you did it in tabs. Thank you. I was about to say the open 3/8. Yeah, that's it's sonically that type of progression with the dissonance, obviously, and the zero dissonance, right? That's like that as those as attributes, let's say, of that. We're such big attributes of that time and of that sound that is, most people also have no idea what makes it, what makes their brain just be like, oh, like kind of like this or kind of like this. On the musician side, for me, I get very nerdy of like, oh, well, I those types of tricks and those types of uniqueness that from those sounds, which again, Underoath also wasn't the first type people to do those sounds. It's just bands,
of course,
bands evolve, and the band before that they were influenced probably got influenced by a different band that like uses 100%. Types of those attributes mixed in with different influences, and that's why when you hear that mixture of stuff, it has a nostalgic flair, just like I talked like with Matt with Boundaries, how they have some of those like 5, 7, 8. They got like those cool like melodic metalcore moments, but just like you guys and Boundaries as a band, they expand and they are a band. They are themselves. They're their own identities and the sum of their own musical interests, influences, all of that. So that expands much past that. So it does get annoying 100% when it's just like, oh, dude, I like this one band from before. Therefore, that defines this new band, because then it overshadows everything else, which makes what you guys are doing unique. Similar with Boundaries in that case, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think like, although I'll say this, everyone being like, this sounds like Underoath, I'll happily take that any day because they're a great band. But like with this new record now, with this new album, you hear a lot more of the band. Rather than us being like, right, what can we try be and do this? We got somewhere with that, and I'm like, right, that's sick, but we're not going to write the same record again. It's going to like change and evolve, and over the time of us just being people and growing as musicians, going through things in our life, that's exactly what's happened this time around. It's like this album, I've wrote like a lot of the lyrics this time around are about me and myself and I, rather than me writing stories about other people and like creating like worlds to live in. This time now it's a lot more like, hey, I'm gone through this and this is what it is, which is kind of scary to think about, because I have to think about everyone's gonna hear that, and I'm like, haha.
It's very vulnerable. I mean, that's like, that's one of those things where it's always such a weird fucking blend of authenticity and realness, but then you make yourself vulnerable, even though that shouldn't have to be like the balancing scale trade-off, but it is because of the world, and how it is nowadays, and like it should be celebrated more than anything, but unfortunately, because of how the way the world is, how the way the internet particularly celebrates things nowadays, I think it just doesn't, it's not as intended. Is the best way I could say.
I'm just praying that this record does that well that I don't have to be on the internet anymore.
That's the dude. Honestly,
that's all I want. Like the thing is, like, this is the thing I was saying just before this started. I was like, you do an amazing job at what you do, and you are an entertainer, and you keep it real for people, and that's what's fucking great, right? I make things. All I enjoy doing is making things. Touring for me is like a byproduct of being able to make more things. Like for the other guys, like not so much. Like I'm not speaking for everyone when I say that, but like for me personally, I came from being a photographer and a music video director before doing this as a band. Like the band started pretty much by accident. So like for me, all I want to do is make and create things. I don't want to be this internet persona or this like presenter or like I don't want to do that. Like I just want to make art, put it out, and have people enjoy it. I don't care about having the biggest car, biggest house. Like all I want to do is get by and make things that when the time comes and I'm not here anymore, I'll be remembered for doing that cool thing.
Yeah.
Like
No,
that's all I care about. And it sucks these days because it's like, oh well, you gotta put your numbers up and you gotta, major label corporation bullshit of we need to have more of this from you and you need to appease to this. And how about being like this generation's version of that? And I'm like, right, as someone who has grown up with the term weirdo embedded in the fucking forehead from things, for me to be like, I need to be liked by everyone just doesn't, it
Doesn't
just
sink,
does not like find a home with me at all. Like maybe some like, I don't know, maybe some like new breed will come in and they're like absolutely fine with it and they'll come in, but like, unfortunately, it's just not me. And I know we're never going to be the biggest band in the world. And I'm absolutely content with that, but I want to be the coolest band in the world.
Right.
Like that's ultimately the goal. It's like someone's like, oh well, this band's bigger than you, and I'm like, yeah, if I wrote the world's most boring song as well, we'd be a bigger band. But unfortunately, I don't really want to do that anytime soon. Like I want to inspire someone who's gonna write the biggest song in the world eventually.
Right.
That's my vibe.
That's
Rather than be like, look at me, I'm so fucking cool. I'm always in this for inspiration, not admiration. It's the thing that I've mentioned many times, where I want to all I wanted to do when doing this band and when it started getting somewhere was to be the person who makes someone want to pick up a guitar and do a band and like try photography and try videography and try draw something and try make something. Just basically make bands try be better bands and be better artists at the core, rather so much than turn around and being like, love me, oh love me. Because I like when we've been on tours and I've been around those types of people, I'm like, I can't relate to you in any way at all, because someone coming up to me and being like, yeah, is like my idea of hell. I'm just trying to get some food. Like fucking
I'm hungry, bro. Like chill.
I'm such a normal person. And my idea of having this like complex of just like, oh yeah, it's me, I am famous, is like so weird to me. Like I'm so grateful for absolutely everything we've ever got. But like if like all I want to do with it is to be able to live it and like get it all out, inspire loads of people to keep creating things and keep doing things, and like, and just do that really. Like I'm not in this to like keep growing it and keep doing this, because at this point, after album 1 happened, I was kind of like, I'm completely winging this now, because I didn't even think it'd get this far.
Right.
Like I had a really solid fucking this camera, bro. Fuck me.
Dude, that's
Right, hold on. Pause. I always got told this rule, right? The best camera is the one you have to hand, and I will never forget that. Have to hand. Yeah, the best camera is the one you've got in front of you.
Oh,
Right?
okay, that makes sense.
Because right now, the only thing that matters in this shot, and like maybe in yours a little bit, is just the lighting and what I've done with it.
Yeah, dude, we got some par lights, bro. Fucking, and we're upgrading here.
But dude, this is the thing. It's all about the tools and how you use them rather than the gear that you got. And it's an interesting thing that I find in the photo video world. Sorry to get like a bit nerdy
dude,
about this.
I'm all about it. Let's go.
But like, coming from that world, like I started on the shittest camera you could find, like something that's worth less than $100, right? And I was just shooting skateboarding, and that's how I got into it. Then I started putting on shows, and then I photographed the shows after that, and then it just like built from there. But I was still using the same camera body to shoot Kerrang covers eventually that I was shooting like a 30-person cap venue.
That's sick. Yeah.
And I was like, because it taught me to use it properly, and it taught me to use a camera. And you have photographers now who come out the bat and they're buying like a 3,000 pound camera.
Jesus.
Like lenses that are worth thousands and on top. And it's just like, they're like, oh, I can get the shot. Bang, there you go. And I'm like, yeah,
Dude.
you can. But if I had to explain to you how to do something, you'd have like no idea how things work. Like you don't need to know how things work anymore sometimes to get the shot. But I feel like I can tell when I watch someone who has got it and who hasn't. Like I'm like, oh, you know what you're doing, or I'm like, oh, you're letting the camera do all the work for you.
Yeah,
like,
iPhone. Fuck, man, come on, that thing is so dumb powerful now that like anyone that feels like I can't do, like I can't, whatever, if they want to express themselves through whatever the fuck it is, you know, like, and you have the most powerful fucking thing right here. Like, come on.
Straight
like
up,
it's
straight up.
It's a ridiculous thing to use.
Well, I've started going back now and finding like getting old tech more than anything. It's like I'm literally sat here right now and I've got a plethora of fucking old handy cams just everywhere. Like I even thought about just hooking up my rig right now.
Dude, I saw a clip, a streamer using, I don't know how fucking everything's so fucking botted nowadays and fake on the internet, but I maybe it's real. I saw a clip of a streamer using a handheld on there for like the first time on Twitch live streaming, and it was like, it looked cool.
I was literally about to do that for this. I was going to do that for this and be like, oh, hey,
we gotta redo it. Fuck it. Cut all.
Send it back.
Send it back, bro.
Like I was honestly going to do it for this because I was like worried about this thing bugging out, and now after doing it these 2 times, I was like, for fuck's sakes. I was like, I fully could have just done it.
Yep.
But that's the thing. Like I keep reverting to old tech now, and we've just shot another music video yesterday, on an SVHS camera, which is, I don't even know how to time frame this for you because it's something that existed over here that didn't over there. But it's like,
well, also I'm from Canada, not even America, so it's extra not existent.
So it's extra. Whereabouts in Canada are you from?
Toronto,
right?
Which is fuck, it's close enough, but yeah.
Yeah. So it's like a tube camera. So basically, it's what they'd use on old British Telecom stuff in like the 80s to like start of the 90s. So like we'd have like, I don't know if you ever heard like Blue Peter or like. I don't even see. This is the thing. I don't even know what to reference because it's so old.
Okay.
Like,
do you have one?
I do, but it's literally at the studio. It's not here. But it's like the huge like on the shoulder telephone like TV cameras.
Oh, like that shit. Like that you
like so where that generic image comes from of like here's a guy with a TV.
Okay.
Like it's one of those.
I got you.
But the lenses that's inside them are amazing, and the autofocus and everything they got. So I was just like, right, like Sam. So weird. So Sam's dad owns a drum store in Stoke, which is where he's from. Shout out Rhythm House if you're listening and you're from the UK, get all your drum stuff from there. Neil's a legend. But his dad just had these cameras from a university that were just left there. I don't know how, but Sam was like, "Oh, I got these. Let's try use them." And I just opened it up, and we've done these things recently called a live death display. It's this big like DVD that we shot, which is like a mixture of like live performances and abstract art, and we shot it all on these cameras, and it looks such a way that I can't even describe because it's not bad quality like how a handy cam is. Like, it's like oh retro fucking lo-fi. It looks great, but it's just so dated, and it's incredible. And this is the thing again, going back to it, the characteristics of it. And the characteristics that this camera will have, which is like older than me, like it will bring this whole new life to everything. And that's sick. I love that. I love that because it's not just doing the same format that everything is. Like I'm not disregarding any of the technology that we got now because I think it's great. But I've started looking back. I always look backwards for stuff because the first video we did was shot on a VX1000, like the iconic skate handy cam. And then everyone was like, "Oh, this is great." Then I was like, "Right, I'll do the TV thing." And I honestly. There's part of me sometimes which regrets doing the TV thing so much because we did it when no one else was doing it. Hate to sound like that guy.
You mean like the Resolute, like the 4x3 kind of like
everyone? Okay. No, it's everyone. Everyone shoots like their music video. Like they put it on a TV, on a CRT TV, and then they film the TV. Like so, I did that because I got the idea from Darkwave, right? And like from Darkwave music, and then I ripped also the idea from The Simpsons of having the border around the TV. Do you know when they're watching TV and it's Ken Brockman on the news, they still have the border on the TV, so that's why that's there in that first video, because I was like, oh yeah, it's like The Simpsons, cool, like that. And then next thing we know, like a few years after that's happened, the TV thing's just everyone's just doing it for every single thing now, and I'm like,
well, that's what happens, man. People try cool stuff, and then people relate and really like it, and then everyone else wants to copy paste the cool stuff.
It becomes like the oversaturation, and I think I'm a bit of a hypocrite though when I'm saying this out loud and thinking about it, because it's like I want to be inspiring and doing that, but then it's almost like to the point where it's becoming ripped off, or it gets used by bands. Like this is the other thing. I remember the day there was a executive from Sony who followed the band.
Yeah.
Like it was a digital marketing and visual rep from Sony who followed it, and then the next thing I see is one of their artists, not naming names, do a drop which was almost identical to something we dropped on our website the month before, and I was like,
Yeah.
cheers, bro. Don't worry, I'm keeping you in a salary more money than I'm ever gonna see in my life. Like, you know.
It's a tricky thing nowadays where everyone wants to do the thing instead of do their thing, and I think we're also advancing so much because, as we're talking, like internet, fucking bots, AI, everything is becoming so automated, fed to you in a way where I'm starting to see more of that rebellious movement where, like, okay, a band is super produced, super everything tracks, not real, anything in any capacity. Other band went back, they went to record in their garage, there's no click, there's no fucking anything. They're using a Nokia.
Like alt rock scene and garage punk now, huge again.
Yeah.
It's huge again for that reason.
Yeah, and I think that's cool in a capacity of there's going to be this resistance, because then it's like, okay, do you want something super produced and crazy? Great. In modern day, fucking go for it, right? Go listen to the fucking AI vocode. Have fun, bro. All right? And, or do you want something that sounds kind of a little like shit, but it's real as fuck, and it has this particular energy to it, right? This raw energy to it. Cool, and then great, something for everybody, and there's going to be that divide always until it, like, fully, I think, is like one or the other. And then this middle ground of people kind of being like, I think in the middle is just going to be like, there's just extremes, like you want one or the fucking other. And that's cool, right? And I think maybe then, and what's going to always happen, it's always the fucking cycle. Oh, wow, raw and aggressive is now popular. Why is everything so digital? Well, we can make more money doing raw and aggressive. So fucking let's go and make that. It's never going to stop, right? I mean, obviously how 2000s music is popular again, right? Which was some of the best music ever made, will I say, of course. But I also...
because it's honest and people had time, because labels had budgets and companies put investments into bands. Rather now where it's like, hey, you can home produce, let's write this song in a day. Give me a hook, give me a song, give me another hook, give me another song. And then you're churning out shit. Next thing you know, you're 2 years down the line, you've got no songs that fucking mean anything because they just sound like someone's fucking ringtone, and that's it. And you've built a career off of just sounding like an advert. Like, that's where bands are getting now, because labels do this thing where they're like, fast, speed, fast, go, fast, speed. They end up burning out the artist. The artist needs someone to come and help write their songs. They help get someone who's written everyone's fucking song. They fall off the LA producer ball bag, like, conveyor belt system. And next thing you know, every fucking band is exactly the same. The genre falls apart, and then everyone who's making money in it now goes back to being a broke fucking loser, and that's it.
Yeah, fuck, man. And that's where I think it comes back to, too. Like, I've seen people in this fucking space, in the content scene too, make the most when it actually is the opposite, not chasing to make the most. And if that's the initial intent, I never see people fucking get it ever. It doesn't happen. Whenever
go work in a bank. If that's your fucking shit, go work on the stock market, because, like, fucking this camera, bro.
Shit. Bro, you might need some stocks for a new camera. Fuck, bro.
Bro, I need to go to fucking Trading 212 real quick and be like, hey, you know what's going on with this. You know what's good. I don't know if you're like a Tarkov fan at all, right?
I never got into Tarkov, but
that took years to finish. That took, like, literally, like, it's been a beta the entire time until, like, kind of, I'm gonna say recently, it's probably like a year ago. But, like, that's been a beta and a work on thing for so long. And it's, like, one of the most successful things in the past couple of years. But I'm like, and do you know why that is? Because it's a slow studio that was just developing the entire time. It was working on getting it right. It wasn't like, hey, we should shit this out. And I remember so vividly, like, when Cyberpunk got announced. And it was like, hey, like, this is game, you can, like, do everything in, like, GTA, but it's like cyber and, like, all this shit's going on. You can customize everything, all this. I remember looking at this as, like, a teenager, and being like, there is no way that this is gonna work. Like, and I was a teenager being like, there is no way my Xbox is gonna be able to handle this without blowing up.
Dude, well, I mean,
guess what? The game drops and it's a shit show. It's a complete mess. It doesn't work. And everyone's like, oh, what the fuck happened? Pre-orders don't go. It's all broken. And I'm like, this is what happens when people are so focused, when your shareholders, right, are so focused on making green quick and exploiting people who care about something, rather than taking the time to actually put something together that makes sense and has care and attention in it. And I think the same way about the new Skate game that came out, when that shit dropped, oh my Fucking God.
I mean, I
When
played
when-
Tony Hawk back in the day, and fuck, like I played the snowboarding games Amped. I don't know if you played those back in the day.
Yeah,
But,
yeah, yeah.
those
But
were
like, Skate for me was like genuinely game changing, and to watch the new Skate come out, and I'm like, oh my God, here we go, it's time. It comes out and it's the same problems as Cyberpunk. It's broken. There's so much stuff wrong with it. It's crashing every 2 minutes, and then everyone's like, "Hey, this game isn't even finished."
Dude, what the fuck happened with gaming where the term, first of all, the game is in beta.
Beta.
Why is it
Beta.
out? Then alpha. I couldn't.
Alpha,
When I
yeah.
heard this, I was about to say I was like, this can't be a real term. Pre-alpha. That doesn't even make sense. It doesn't exist. How the fuck is it pre-alpha?
It's not a thing. Like,
doesn't
that's
exist.
literally not a thing. I'm like, okay, so what you're doing right now is making as many excuses as possible to say it's done. Like,
Yep.
I think I think the Fortnite effect has just ruined games where it's all about like microtransactions. Like, no diss to Fortnite, they got their own thing on lock, but the problem is every other gaming company right now is just constantly trying to copy the framework of microtransactions and this and that and this, and I'm like, Skate does not work the same as Fortnite.
Yeah, and
Like,
trying to
and
force it. It's not gonna
and you've got to understand what it is you're making, and you've got to have an idea and a principle. And once again, it's the people, unfortunately, who hold the wallets, who hold the dime, who hold everything, who will just shit it out and go, "Did that work? Yes, no, okay, on to the next. Did that work? Yes, no, on to the next." And I feel like it's folding all creative corners now, which is a massive, massive worry for me, because I think about live music going forward, and I'm like, how is it going to affect this? Like, how is it going to affect, like my kids and like their kids? I'm like, is anyone actually even going to enjoy anything anymore? Or is it just going to be taken away because we need to make more money on it?
Dude, I think ironically, and I might be wrong because this also isn't my part of the music specialty of the live music here, I think it will become more popular as people crave real being in fucking person with people, like seeing things, like actual interaction. Just like people miss Blockbuster. So do I, right? Like that's psycho. I mean, when you think about it, you went there, you rented something for like 10, 15 fucking dollars. Way too expensive, by the way, when I say for the time. But it was the experience. Yo, let's go to Blockbuster. Let's walk to Blockbuster. Let's get their shitty fucking popcorn, dude. It was like a thing, right? It was part of the experience. And you came home, you forgot to return that shit, and you got your dumbass late fees. It was just part of it, and it was fun. And now it's like, all right, $8 Netflix, like, but like there's no.
And now it's like, oh, I forgot to cancel my thing, and then they've like charged me for another year or something like that. And I'm like, how is this living? How is this living in anywhere?
Yeah, dude.
I think it's the return of that. And I mean, so what we're doing tomorrow, we're doing a hometown show where I mentioned it earlier before. It's these things called a live death display. And effectively what it is we create like a small cinema space inside a venue. People walk in, we play this film that me and George put together. And at the end of it, the screen drops down and then we play the surprise set.
That's sick.
And I'm like, there's like no support bands. There's not like a traditional bill. But it's like the one that we're doing tomorrow was literally £5 to come in. And I'm just like, you can do these things, you can make it happen, but what you've got to do is take it into your own hands.
Yep.
And like and like put it together yourself. And you've got all these like fat cats who will add on fees and Ticketmaster bullshit and like all this other stuff on top. If you are true enough to yourself and find a way and go the long route around stuff and put in the footwork to make these things happen, you can keep this affordable for everyone who you actually care about and everyone who can find you and like have a good time. Because ultimately with these shows, it's like the intention isn't to make loads of fucking money or do any of these things. It's basically just to have a good time and promote it, because it's like, after like recent shit that I've been through, I'm kind of like, I want to just be able to enjoy every single time we do something rather than everyone being up my ass all the time about the future and all this. And I'm like, this could end tomorrow. Like when all that shit happened to me in December, like I had an injury on the Dying Wish tour where effectively I got ragged off stage and my head collided with the floor.
Oh,
and
fuck.
I ended up having pretty intense seizures and like effectively brain damage for it, where my memory hasn't come back fully. There's people I can't remember. I struggle daily with things. Like when it first happened, I couldn't read text messages. Like it didn't make any sense. I couldn't speak properly without stuttering. Like it was like a very serious thing, and that was from a fall from about 5 foot. You know, it was a complete accident. Like no, like, I'm not holding any malice towards anyone, but like as soon as that happened, my whole perspective on everything to do with this changed because I was like, everything is so fragile these days, and everyone's just like so. It feels like the fuse on everyone these days is so short and just ready to explode. I'm like, if I can just make something that can make those people happy for like 2 minutes, I'm like,
Yep.
I don't care how much money we lose. I don't care what's going on there because at the end of the day, if I'm having fun, my 3 other fucking best friends are having fun, and there's a room full of people who are like, yeah, this is dope. That's all I honestly care about.
Dude,
You know, because
feeling fulfilled is so important, and yet I feel like so underappreciated in like the entertainment space of like that, that and being content with just fulfillment, you know, with feeling fulfilled. And sure, everyone has to pay their fucking rent. Okay, so pay your rent and feel fulfilled. You know, there's a line, right, where where the money is freedom. And if you have freedom, what fuck you know, like you're chilling. Like you got your freedom and then fulfillment. Like if you can have those two things in life, holy shit, it's otherworldly. And that's something where like, dude, I took a long ass fucking break because there was so much shit fucked up in my life, and I need a second. Like the machine's going, and I was fortunate enough, which I could fucking do that because many people, you know, can't be like, yo boss, can I fucking leave, you know, for 6 fucking months, right? That's not how it fucking goes, right? But it's one of those things where especially a lot of people, including myself at that time, it's like you derive so much of your value and your life and your existence from what you do instead of what you are as a human. And taking that second, is important.
That's a lot of stuff that I'm kind of struggling with at the minute. And it's a lot of the stuff that this record's about. I've like rediscovered is me not like having the awareness or understanding that I'm my own person and not just the guy that's in the band making the thing.
Right.
Like when it's running at 110% all the time, sometimes you can get so burnt out you don't even see it. It's like we've been in positions before where I've literally been like, we did the Underoath tour, and like, if this is TMI, I apologize, but it's like I ruptured the inside of my stomach, and every day we were playing, essentially I come off stage and my like pants would just be filled with blood. Like, because I'd literally be like bleeding out my ass,
right.
because there was a line on my intestine or something like that got
fucked up
from it. So there was just moments where it was just absolutely peak, but we didn't cancel a single show. I kept going, kept grinding.
That's crazy.
It's like we were out on tour before, and I lost a very good friend of mine, and my granddad died within the space of 3 days of each other. I couldn't afford to get a flight home because we were that much in the hole, and I just had to sit it out and then try watch like my granddad's funeral on a FaceTime call. Like it was rough, and that's again grinding it out. But then when this thing happened last year, that was like, I can't avoid this one. That I feel like that was kind of a sign from, you know, above or whatever you want to believe in, for me to be like, hey, you've really got to slow down because you're not actually living a life right now. You're just living and existing. And it's like I don't know, I learned a lot about myself in those moments, and like there's a lot of stuff that I can't remember, and there's a lot of people that I'll never understand what happened with them. Like if you fell out with someone, I can't remember why I fell out with them. Like that's a really hard one for me. Or like I have to go through my phone every day and kind of relearn people a lot of the time, and it's it's difficult, but like I'll go through all this, and then I'm seeing my niece, who I care about more than anything in the world, growing up really quick, and it's like every time I come back from a tour, she's like this much taller, and I'm like, I need to just slow down so much with this now and realize that there is so much more to life than just this. When I start living out externally, I start learning more, I start being more aware of other people, including myself, and I start being a better person for it. And also then that will then help the art that I make to progress that and make that better too. I don't know if you're like a Johnny Cash fan at all, or like know anything about him.
My mom would play it a bit when I was growing up. Okay.
So in one of his interviews, he made a very good point, and it was something that rung home quite heavy with me, where he was talking about, you've got to live a little to fill up the gas to then be able to write the songs. So he
Yep.
went from playing like huge rooms, right? To then it just be like, release, do this, release, do this, release, do this. You know, very much the music industry ruining someone in real time once again. And he got so drawn out and was writing crap songs, and it just didn't make sense. And he was at the tail end of his career. I'm pretty sure his wife was really sick, like he wasn't doing good. And then he found the Nine Inch Nails song, you know, did that cover. Because originally I thought it was a Johnny Cash song that Nine Inch Nails covered, but it was a Nine Inch Nails song that Johnny Cash covered.
Which one? Which one?
I'm pulling it up now because I'm on this stream and my heart is racing a million miles an hour. But I'm pretty sure it's was it fucking Hurt?
Is it okay? I've never heard the cover.
That one.
Okay,
Hold
I've never heard the cover, but
You've never heard the how?
No, because I in my ears it didn't go into them one time, bro.
Dude.
I gotta go check it out, obviously.
Wait, is it Johnny Cash? Am I completely wrong? Have I just got the not? No, it's Hurt, right? So Hurt by Nine Inch Nails, yeah.
Okay.
Like that is originally it's originally a Nine Inch Nails song, and I'm right in thinking Johnny Cash heard this and was like, all the lyrics in this resonate with everything my life's going through right now, where I'm at. My career's, you know, kind of plateaued, and I'm like, you know, I'm not making any money anymore. All my loved ones are sick, and you can hear it in his voice when you listen to it. Like it's an old guy singing about kind of coming to an end of everything. And like just like that song happened and it reignited everything for him. Like he wasn't like jumping around stage and being all crazy and all this, but like winning awards, and it was just one of the biggest songs of that time, and it was crazy. But I was just like, what he talked about burning out so hard and then having to keep going and burning out so hard, you've kind of got to be a human and live a bit. And I feel like as musicians in this economy these days, we're trained to be like influencers, like, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but like people like yourself, we're trained to try be
fuck
people
influencers
like you guys.
Yeah.
But it's like no, I mean like it's like we're trained to be entertainers, not artists. And that's the really, really difficult thing, because if I was to turn around to you, and be like, right, write me a song every single day, and then you've got to have the pressure of, if that song that you released yesterday isn't that good, I'm going to take all these things away from you and your useless.
And a thing that's fucked up in that position is not only are you getting affected by decisions, and even healthy decisions, you affect your band members, you affect everyone around you. So it's more of this pressure of like, just you had to deal with, like, just you just tell yourself, right, just suck it up, just fuck it, because it's easier to suck it up than have to deal with all this shit for myself, and also possibly disappoint the people around me.
Yes.
And that is fucking that's a tough time, man.
I honestly, like, I'd rather break the hearts of a million people that I don't know than break the hearts of the 3 people in my life I care about the most. And that's the thing I think about all the time, and it's the thing that I talk to the 3 of those guys about. Like, and I always say it, and we always have like a good, you know, huddle before stage and everything like that, because it's like I proper mean it, because it's like, without the other 3, this is completely pointless to me. And like I find touring really hard. Like I just do it. It is really, really, really fucking difficult for me. But like I do it for those guys.
Right.
And no one else. And that's it. And I don't know, like it's so hard when you're at burnout stage, like I am, like honestly, like I am right now. Like even just like trying to fit this in has been hell on earth. Like,
thank you for taking time, by the way. I appreciate it.
No, but I'm grateful for the opportunity in that, because it you know, it just like getting to talk to more people about things that I care about is important. And once again, I hope if there's someone hearing this right now who's at this stage with music, or they're working with someone in some capacity where they're feeling the same way, the things that I've been through, I need them to know that like sometimes you got to let your foot off the gas, live a little bit, and then your input to what you will give will be tenfold of what it is right now. Because there's grind set culture for like different avenues of life that's applied to art, and unfortunately it doesn't work. Like, you have a grind set culture if you work an IT job, bro, you're living, but you're still gonna clock out at the end of the day and go be a normal person. When you're doing this art thing, you don't clock out. So the grind set mentality is just gonna get depleted. And it's like I'll sit there and I'll be like, right, I've got a music video to do, shoot, film, edit, create, style, get done. Then I've got the merch, like I'm sorry, then I've got the promos, photos, like edit, reel out, formatting to do. Then I've got the merch, designs, full spread, every single tour, like all this other stuff to do. Then I've got the social assets and how that'll roll out and all that. Like that's so many things to do. And then someone's turning around and go, oh, tour by the way, or like produced by the way, or this by the way. And it gets to a point where it becomes a sacrifice. And it was like end of that Underoath tour, man, we'd put out like a redux of our first record, and the label had kind of cut the idea of what I was originally trying to do, where it was just going to be the remixes that go out, and they were going to be released on 7-inch LPs, and you lined up all 3 7-inch LPs artworks, and then it had a URL on the back of it, and that'd take you to a song which we hadn't released. But what happened is we dropped the first one, they dropped it alongside another record. They dropped it alongside the LP redone, and it would have cost people like $70 to buy. So no one was buying it. Then there was like, oh, the sales weren't that good. And I was like, yeah, no shit, because you were trying to charge $70 for something that's already been out for a year. So it was like this idea that we put loads of time into and put loads of thought and everything like that just got capped immediately. But instead of drafting away from it, we were like doing all the music videos for free, doing all these promos, doing all these ad campaigns, doing all this other stuff, forcing it out, then going on tour, then going through all this shit. And it was when we got to the end of that cycle, we'd like had a few songs written, but I know there was a time internally where we were all kind of like butting heads really hard. And that was the thing that nearly broke us so much, is the fact that we were just pushing so much to just try and be the best band and the best version of ourselves as we could. And that, for me anyway, nearly made me fully press the ejector seat button, because I was just like, we can't win here.
It's too much, man. You know, there's too many people saying do this, do that, and then there's people relying on you to also make the quote unquote correct decision, you know, not the decision you maybe need as a human being, but the correct decision for everyone to kind of continue the machine, right? And that's something that's fucked. You know, you can't putting all that pressure on people in general of like, well, you have to do this. And also, not only do you have to do all of these things, they have to hit these numbers, which is based on how good you do the other things. And even sometimes not based on how good you do them, because sometimes it's just, I understand the fuck social media life. You can post something, no one sees it. Like, what do you want to, do you want me to bot it, bro? Like, how the fuck do I change that?
Why am I taking suggestions? Why am I taking fucking suggestions from someone, right? Who, like, why am I taking content suggestions from someone who's never fucking touched an instrument? Why am I right? This is my big fucking one, and I remember having a big argument about this, right? Why am I listening to someone who works in music, who doesn't buy records, doesn't buy tickets for gigs, and only cares about bands when they are investing in them to get some return?
Yeah. That's
because when you were younger, you weren't going, how many listeners does this band that CD I'm going to buy have?
Dude, that was the best part about being young, is you had no idea how big a band was, but because they were the band you liked, they were the biggest band in the world. Like, I could
remove the metrics from everything, right? And I honestly will laugh at how many people will crumble in this shit. Like, I will laugh in the face of people whose gimmicks will just completely fly out the window, because there's been so many moments where I'll see bands who are fucking amazing, honestly, get billed below some absolute shit that's just had a moment. And that slot for that band who's really good could have been completely career defining. But because someone decided to have some bait shit going on, all of a sudden that's now a thing, you know? And like, as much respect in the world to Sleep Token, right? The amount of clones and offshoots and other horrible shit that it's spewed in music, I hate it. Like, I absolutely hate what it's kind of done for the industry in a whole. Like, it's brought a lot of new people in.
Right.
It's amazing. And like, don't get this kind of twisted. I've seen every single one of those guys be in bands where they played 200 cap rooms to literally nobody. They've grinded. No one's dad's rich. No one's super famous. Like, everyone's just a good musician.
They're also
And-
they're very chill. They're like,
And they're all great people.
Yeah,
This is like the thing that I'll always say. They're always fucking amazing people. And to see it explode how it did is so sick. Is so fucking sick. Like, have your opinion about the music, like it, love it, like, you know, hate it, whatever. But I'll never take away from them the fact that that band grinded, worked, and just did something unique. But
Yeah.
what fucking rips me apart inside is now seeing all these clones of it happen and getting put in places and just kind of like taking the quick way around stuff
Yep.
now. And I'm watching lineups get curated where I'm watching bands who've been like good bands for a very long time and been slowly doing the grind and the slow build in the eyes of the industry get
Yep.
fucking slammed underneath stuff that's been around 2 minutes.
yeah. I mean, with stylistic like that too, it's funny when you take a band like Sleep Token, like they're, I don't forgot if they started like 2015, 2016. They've been a band for a while.
It was
but
it was 2016.
Yeah, people don't realize they've been around for a fucking minute. And when it comes to trajectory of like these bands that all of a sudden fucking like blow up, right? It's always crazy to see where it's like they start usually with something that is unique, like that's like, this isn't, hey, I want to be a pop artist with djent and breakdowns and stuff. That's cool. Like in 2016, like or around there, like that wasn't.
That wasn't happening.
That
Like,
wasn't the vibe, you know. And
I remember it was Nazareth or some shit like that. I think it was called. Right. So I remember seeing that, and then I was the photographer for Loathe on the Loathe Holding Absence split tour that they did.
Sick.
They toured together because they both had a split coming
Yep.
out at the same time. And Sleep Token were opening 2 of the shows.
Yep.
Right. And there's the London show, and obviously I'm photographing Loathe. They're headlining. It's going crazy. Everyone's having a good time.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at the photo afterwards, and in the front row of that photo during Loath's set, you just see this guy like screaming his head off.
Right.
Loads of black paint there. I'm like, what the fuck's that? The singer of Sleep Token is in the pit
That's hard as
for
fuck.
Loathe, right? And I'm like, here's genuine people winning right now, because that's people who care about music, and it's the authenticity of it once again. You know, it's going back round to that thing. Everyone who's in that band loves bands, they love music, and they love it for the right reasons, and they're there because they deserve to be.
Yep. 100%.
And I think there's just like some brilliance about that, and they've got to where they've got to, for better or worse in some people's eyes, because they've authentically been themselves.
Yep.
You know, and I just think like don't take it as me being like, oh, the band that's never done anything that I think's lame or like anything like that. That's not what I'm saying at all.
No.
But they're a band that's stuck to their own idea, and for that I'll always be like, yeah, respect on that shit.
Dude, well, that's why they're so consistent. And then when the summoning happened, I was there at that moment because I'm like, I've listened to Sleep Token since like The Offering, right? And I was like, this is sick. Like, I like pop music, I like R&B, and I like fucking heavy low tune guitars. I'm like, oh, these guys do it. Like this
Djent
scratches
boy.
I'm a Djent boy, brother. Hey, I'm a 2000s metalcore boy, and then I listened to P2 and it fucked up that part of my life because it was so
Man,
good.
Scarlet, when I first heard Scarlet, I was like, like
P2 is still goated. It's
truly insane song. Like,
still fucking goated, man. That P2 is, and all the other P records are great too. Juggernaut and Alpha, what is it?
Alpha Omega.
Alpha
Yeah,
Omega.
yeah.
That should fucking need some more love with the Juggernaut stuff. That was a great fucking double album. I thought it was sick.
I just think they were kind of doing too much too quick.
That's
honestly
fair. Yeah.
I felt like they were kind of ahead of everyone in terms of a production level and in terms of a presentation level. And the like, I think if you were to change the timings of things happening, I think if they were to do that, what they did back then, like let's say 2-3 years ago in this time, I bet they'd be like 6 times the size that they were.
That's crazy.
You know, I reckon they'd be so much bigger.
They would be bigger, dude.
But it's a timing thing. It's a timing
is
thing once
everything.
again.
Well, I mean, and so fucking with Sleep Token, like it's like, okay, you have a big band, they have this sound, and they're authentically that sound, and they're really fucking good at it. Like that's the thing. They are like, oh shit, like this sounds sick, right? And it scratches those itch.
Absolutely.
And then a band like that has a moment, which I know I was part of that fucking moment.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I like this, so I'm gonna fucking check it out. I did not know it was gonna be called fucking sexy core, whatever the fuck, for the rest of the years, right? I'm like, saxophone's cool. You know how I like saxophone? Because I like fucking George Michael, and I also like Rivers of Nile. So like, I'm like, sick, I get to hear it in a band that does this now. But it's like, oh, now it's a thing. Okay, well, now this band has a moment, and because they have a sick catalog, it's like everyone living this moment is now making all of the whole catalog a moment as well. So it's like they're basically like teleporting back in time, or as if all these songs were released today as well. Like The Offering has a moment now. It's like, oh my fucking god, like it's crazy to see that kind of just all explode at the same time, because they were a band that literally was like, we like this, we're gonna be good at it, okay. And then it's just,
it shined a spotlight onto an entire world that a lot of people had never even heard of.
Yep.
And then a lot of people, because the branding identity was so strong already, completely were overthrown by and just encapsulated within it.
Yep.
Like, and this is my thing, right? I ain't the biggest fan of it. Like, it just ain't for me. Like, and that's absolutely fine. But this is the thing I'll also say: I ain't ever gonna knock it, because out of all the bands doing it, they are once again authentic within themselves and authentic as people, and have been in the game doing it when this shit wasn't cool.
Yeah, when it wasn't.
And now it's like everyone wants to be in a band and do all this, and I think it's like it's just similar for all these bands who have had these huge moments in the past couple of years, who've been going a very long time already. I'm like, it's just, I don't know.
Dude,
man.
you know what
It's
movement
just
fucks
amazing.
me up? Fallen B. Because I love Volzarta. I fucking love them since 2010, right? Or 2011. Whenever the fuck they released the Dagger album, right? I can't pronounce any of those albums.
Is that the one with the video where it's the dudes in the snow?
Is it's blue? It's
oh
blue.
no, it's black and white or some shit, right?
It's blue themed, so that's why I'm really tricky on answering your question.
Right?
Because like,
are they stood and it's like silhouettes or some shit? I just remember there's one where there's like the string bends and there's like a fucking headstock on a guitar that looks like a fucking spear.
You just described the genre. There's just the string bends, dude, right there.
I've definitely seen it.
So that shit, and then also being like, oh well, like fucking R&B is cool. I like R&B is a vibe, and like seeing and being like, okay, like this is sick. To see that is a trend. I'm like, how?
It's created its own genre a little bit, like without getting too fucking glaze heavy. Like it kind of has, because I wouldn't put Sleep Token or like any of these other like metal bands with that shit going on. I wouldn't put them in the same category as a lot of other bands, purely because I'm like, you're closer to pop than you are to metal.
And that's, I think, even with Sleep Token, I am like, as soon as with metal, because the metalheads, they want to be like, this is ours, so you're metal. You're metal now. You're forced to be metal. And then when you're not metal, I'm mad at you because you are metal now, because we took you and now you have to be fucking metal. But they're a pop band that does awesome metal stuff. What's the problem with that? I think if that's the perspective of the people who listen to them, instead of they're a metal band that has to appease to be metal, all of a sudden it's a switch of perspective of what this band is even giving you, right?
Yeah, I just guess it's what people take from it, but also they're so big that I'm never gonna fuck you fucking piece of shit camera. This is fucking bollocks, man. Right. It's so big that I'm never gonna be able to understand it. Like walking into stores, seeing their t-shirts, seeing like everything everywhere. I'm like, oh, this has become insanely big. And there was a report, I don't know how much of this is true because I didn't like fact check it at the time or anything like that, but I remember reading this where there was a certain term that happened, I think last year or the year that they released the big album, right? Where they outsold Iron Maiden in the amount of retail shirts that they did.
Fuck.
Like, think about it to this point. Iron Maiden are at the point where you will see someone wearing an Iron Maiden shirt who doesn't even know it's a band.
Yep, that's when you win. Like, you're like...
And they are shifting more units in that sense than a band that's essentially a clothing brand. And mind, Iron Maiden shift more than Nirvana does. And how many people do you see?
I actually didn't know that. That's crazy.
How many people do you see wearing a Nirvana shirt who are like, what? Like, it's just a crazy, crazy thing to see. But this also being said at the same time, it's also going back to that point I was making where people are now going in with the perception of how to do this and how to be a band, that they go in and go, okay, the first thing we need to do is get all of our merch in stores and have it in retail and that, and it's you're immediately going in with listening to your wallet before doing anything else. And I'm like, okay, good luck in 5 years where everyone's sick to death of you because you've not been authentic from day one.
Yeah, and dude, chasing the hamster wheel is hell. Like, it's just it's just never ending. It's exhausting. It's dealing with expectations that will never be met anyways. So why not just in the creative space do what you actually love, make your own expectations, give people the most value within what you are and what you do, and you can pay fucking rent. You'll be chilling if you're true to
if you're
those
true about it.
Yeah,
like, I think you'll you'll have been in the same position of me with this, where you'll have found yourself bending the knee a little bit to it, and you'll have been like, oh, well, I've got to do this thing because I've got to hit this metric because I'm worried about this, and I need to get bigger, and I need to do this. When you started doing this and when you started creating and like just enjoying it and doing it, there was probably never a point where you were like, oh, I need to do this thing because this worked for someone else and now they're bigger than me and did that. Because you just, it's like the donkey with the carrot at that point. Like, dude, you just run yourself into the ground, you ruin yourself. And it's like you mentioned about where you went and took a break. And I'm like, in those breaks, you realize and you become a bit more human about all of this.
Yeah. Well, dude, for me, I actually started on SoundCloud 15 years ago. So it was, dude, I was recording shit on fucking Audacity. Like, you know, figuring what the fuck to fit. Because you just figure it out. You're a kid, right? You're like, I'm 13, I'm 14, I went to the music store.
Honestly, you hit the Audacity thing. I mean.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Throwing this out. Eric, you're my brother, and I absolutely love you, and you know I do, and you're one of my best friends. Eric from Loathe, when I first met him, was recording into Audacity, and then he'd export that and then put that into a different project.
I love that. Dude,
and I was,
you gotta do what you gotta do.
I remember watching him doing it, and I was like, what the fuck are you doing? And it's just the way he worked and the way he did it. Like, and that's the thing that I think is important. Like, you've got to just find your own way and be creative, because at the end of the day, he wasn't caring about how everyone else was meant to do it. He wasn't caring about like the right way of doing it. He just did it his own way and learned it himself.
Well, there was no way. So that was the best, most exciting part, is you're literally going into the darkness. No, there's no guiding, there's no spots of light. It's just figure it the fuck out. And that, I think, that part, youthful, especially when it came even the internet space, like the YouTube space, which even at that point, I mean, YouTube I forgot when it started to be like YouTubers existed. It wasn't like 2007 necessarily, but there was people with like, I don't know, like the first video of someone like at the zoo or some shit like that existed back then, but it's not like, hey, I'm a YouTuber.
Like vloggers and stuff. And
so like
I watched like documentaries on like stuff where it's talking about how when Warped Tour started going downhill, and it's because YouTubers ended up having more pull to festivals than bands did. And I think I thought about that because I wasn't on the internet until like my late teens.
Right.
Like a lot of the stuff that people reference, I'm like, I have absolutely no idea about it because I didn't have access to the internet. I didn't have a phone that went on the internet, and our family computer. I was playing PlayStation.
Yeah.
I didn't care about any of that. And then I went on Facebook for the first time and saw there was pages, when pages were still a thing. There was pages made about me that were just literally bullying me. And I was like at school, dude, it was so rough. And I was like, oh, Facebook for the first time, and it's just like
not anymore.
And all this, and I was like, that's kind of beast. And then as soon as I saw that, I was like, right, this ain't me. And then discovered YouTube a few years afterwards from finding like AMVs of like Dragon Ball Z with Linkin Park and stuff.
Yeah, dude, I discovered so much music by watching fucking WoW PvP videos, and people would throw in like In Flames and shit like that, and I'd be like, what is this? This is cool, bro.
Thing. When everyone's just like, oh, music videos don't matter anymore and like all the medium's dead, I disagree so much because, just because you and I can afford Apple Music or like a streaming service or something like that, there is a lot of kids out there who can't afford a streaming network. So you go on YouTube and you watch music videos and you do all this. And I'm like, this is where the value is here. Like, I love music videos probably more than I love music. If something has a good music video, I'll probably end up liking the song or finding a way to like the song because it has some connection. And it's very interesting to see that people are just like short form this, here's a song, that's what you're selling. I'm like, nah, you got to sell a vision with things.
Yeah.
You've got to sell an entire vibe and bring people into your world and do all that. And it's like I discovered a lot of the music I love through PlayStation games, soundtracks like SmackDown vs. Raw and like other shit like that,
dude.
and Tony Hawk soundtracks and shit. I discover them through that, and then I'd go on YouTube way later on in life, and I'd just watch music videos and be sick, and I'd be like, oh, I've never heard the album because I can't afford the album.
Got you, right,
You
right.
know, and like I ended up tangenting from that. I ended up getting a MP3 player when they were like USB sticks, and I put it in my sister's computer when she wasn't in her room, and I just downloaded everything that was on there from hers and just dragged it across.
Old school time, dude. The amount of viruses from LimeWire we got back in the day, brother, that was
Bro, she tanked my uncle's computer so bad. But I pulled over loads of MP3s, and on that I got like Panic at the Disco, Funeral for a Friend, a couple of Slipknot songs, and the funniest thing was I only got singles, and then I only got half of some songs.
Yep.
So for a good like decade of my life, I thought songs just ended at certain spots, yeah? Until I kind of got out in the world when I was like 20, 21.
Yeah.
And then I was just like out or someone were playing a song, I'd be working in a venue where I'd hear it, and I'd hear it go past the point I was aware of, and I was like, what the fuck?
Dude, imagine now. Imagine now where people see only fucking 10 seconds from the fucking TikTok or the short, dude. That's crazy.
And then they go somewhere and they're like, this is a full song.
There's
and
more?
You've just said that, right? And now I'm thinking about that, and I'm like, that will be a thing. That will be a thing where people eventually hear the whole song and they're like, oh, fucking hell, I didn't realize that.
And then maybe they'll be like disappointed. They'll be like, oh, this fucking sucks. Why did I even listen to the whole song?
Yeah, because people write songs for those fucking sound bites. People write songs for that little, oh, I can use this in my fucking little dance. And then next thing you know, you haven't got a legacy. You've just got a sound.
Yep.
And that's ass.
Yeah.
That's so ass. Like, you haven't built anything. You've just made yourself money.
Yeah, and you have to exploit that sound as hard as you can and drive to the darkest places to find the ways to exploit it to a point where it's just like, come on, what are we doing here? You know what I mean?
It's I don't know, it's music's in a very interesting state now, and there's I think not even music, I just think like art is in a horrible state right now, and the way people perceive themselves and the way people perceive each other and how people love each other as well is just completely changed because of social media. And I know that might sound dramatic and pretty cornball and whatever, but I think it's true, and it's something that I did actually cover talking about in the new album. And one of the lyrics I pulled was media killed modern romance.
Ooh,
because
that's a cool lyric.
I truly believe it did.
Yeah.
Like, I truly believe that, you know, I've been in relationships before where it's like, oh, you haven't acted this way, or you haven't responded in the way that the world online tells me that you should do. Mm-hmm. Therefore, that's a problem. And I'm like, your problems are created by how you perceive other people's lives instead of how it actually makes you feel.
Yeah. Well, dude, I've noticed so much over time, particularly now, like people don't know how to talk with each other, which is really, it's weird. Like I was the weird. I was when you're a kid and you're like I thought I was antisocial because I would prefer games and stuff, and I was a little more quiet, right?
Yeah.
And then growing up, I'm like, wow, the new age of things has really made it where people don't communicate so much. they never communicate. Where like as soon as you have to try or want to, it's like you see people like pulling each other's teeth, and that's part of the why I like the podcast thing. I like chatting with people and actually having a conversation, like I was mentioning, instead of like, hey, here's like a quick fucking 10-minute interview so we can like pull teeth and not
promo, you know.
And it's just like, I like to talk with the person that knows how to talk with someone, because then you're gonna, even, you know, both people have fun. You learn about yourself a lot. I've had conversations on this pod where like I go after and like I feel like enlightened. That's so meaningful, to have a conversation with someone and like feel enlightenment in a capacity, whatever way you might have gotten that enlightenment through that conversation. It's just like, oh my God, it's a great feel that people don't have nowadays, dude. It's fucking crazy.
I think so. An interesting thing: the worst people I've met in my life, whether they be like racist, homophobic, fucking I don't know, they got some like weird thing towards a certain sex or like certain person.
Yeah.
It always tends to be people who stay within echo chambers or within communities or within a certain space. I think as people, I think everyone in life should travel and meet people that they wouldn't come across.
Yeah.
Because it's only until you experience other people's lives and have more of an understanding from first-hand perspective that you will ever learn and understand people, and like your ignorance will disappear.
Yep.
Because
oh yeah.
And I think it's the biggest downfall of a lot of people, and I think it's a reason why a lot of people just end up like getting like kind of social suicided a lot these days. And I think it's because sometimes they exist within echo chambers where they're told they're correct. I think they exist within spaces where they will never have anyone call them out on actions that they're doing until it goes too far, and then there's an actual problem happening.
Right.
I do think the most important thing that I've ever learned through all this shit is just communicating way more. Like I used to be so cut off from everyone and like I'm right and everyone else is wrong and all this other shit. And it's only until you get there where someone's like, oh, you're actually wrong here. And then you have the actual thought to listen and change and view yourself from another perspective that you'll actually heal a lot more. Like when I was going through a lot of shit and trying to figure some stuff out, I came up with this method, which is basically like you played like top down fucking RPGs before.
Warcraft 3, bro. I played that, yeah.
Imagine, so if you're going through some shit and all you're doing is tunnel focus, all you're doing is like tunnel focused on like the worst shit imaginable and you can't see any way out of it. And it's like, inside your head it's D-Day and it's the end. Shift your perspective. This fucking camera, when you're on a top down, you can see everything that's in front of you, everything that's at the side of you, and everything that's behind you. And it's only until you have that perspective from all four angles, right, that you're actually going to be able to understand how important the thing in front of you is. Because you look at how far you've come, you look at where else you can go, and you realize that not the only way to get to the end of this is in front of you. And effectively you do like an emotional sidestep, if you would. You
become very self-reflective and very
and it can fucking suck to go through, but I think it's honestly what part of growing up is. And this echo chamberness and this horrible shit that can come out of things, it's because people haven't had that perspective of being able to do all these different things all the time.
And they're just used to the comfort of this person or the one person. And I that's part of I like chatting with people that disagree with me. That's part of life. You chat with people to converse and understand why why you guys disagree, why you fucking learn. And I feel like nowadays especially the entertainment space, everyone is so against wanting to try to understand each other instead of just try to make the loudest point of why they're right. And all the time as being the priority.
I think it's interesting you say that, though, because a lot of people in this sphere kind of hate when someone has a different opinion to them. Like absolutely despise it. Like, I know I've kind of got myself in shit before for, like, not agreeing with someone on something within this like, alternative music sphere, which I think's a very interesting thing to think about on reflection, because I'm just like, okay, so let's say you backed one thing and I was like, nah, it's kind of whatever. Turns out that one thing that you backed 2 years down the line was very, very bad. And just like didn't work out, and everyone was like, that's bad. No one's going to turn around and be like, oh, it turns out you're actually right, by the way. Everyone's just going to continue on forward. And I'm just like, this is why you need to listen to other people's opinions a lot more. And I think like on another scale, I think that's why some bands end up like fucking it so bad, because you get like, I'm right, this is great, my label who pays me tells me it's good, so I'm just going to keep going, and they drop it, and everyone's like, this shit sucks. And you're like, no, well, I'm right and you're wrong. And it's like, okay, man, if you only listen to your like top 10 fans, you're never going to hear a bad thing about you.
And that's also tying to what we were talking about earlier with even like the fucking Reddit and the mixing thing, right? It's like, it's so tricky in that space to disseminate information now because everything's fucked. Bots are crazy. Holy shit. And that's why it's like, I always am like, guys, nowadays it would help a million people more. Go outside for a second. Because this is something I had to fucking learn. You know what I mean? That's why I'm speaking from a place of like, I had to take a time, like, remember, holy shit, I should touch grass. That's not a joke. Like, I should fucking touch the grass. And you just realize so many things about yourself, life, the people around you. Having conversations with people you disagree with more than agree with. You'll learn more from the people you disagree with than the people you agree with a lot of the time.
It's 100%. It's 100% fact. Like, I think it's like, I don't know. I have these long chats with my friend Hunter from Mood Ring. I don't know if you
Hunter's sick. Yeah.
No, right. So we have these chats about this kind of thing a lot of the time, and just like seeing it from someone who's suffering with something like really intense that, you know, I can't relate to on any level, but like seeing it firsthand when I was working with him on stuff, the perspective that it gives you on just life in general. Like, and I don't mean this in any dehumanizing. I fucking love him to pieces, and I think he's one of the most talented people ever. But like seeing it, like how it affects people, just changed my perspective on a lot, you know. And I'll forever be grateful for him as a friend, and I always going to admire absolutely everything he does because I think he's probably one of the most talented people in this shit. But like seeing him go through everything, battling everything, but still going, still making music, still writing shit, still putting stuff out, and it's growing and getting better every time he does. I'm like, that is so sick.
Yep.
That is so fucking sick. And it's like we have big conversations about this type of thing all the time where people are in echo chambers and like he'll get himself in shit from having an opinion and running his mouth about something. But there's a lot of the times where I kind of sit there and I'm like, well, no, he's right. He's calling out someone who like has wronged someone else or hasn't paid someone. And it's like sometimes going against all the noise that people are creating, you kind of find the real ones.
Oh yeah. You like, definitely do.
It's true because it's people who will stand up for themselves. And if anyone in kind of music's listening for this right now, you often find that when you stand up for yourself, people call you crazy or people will deem you as difficult to work with. And I've had that a lot before where people will say that, you know, they'll say that we're like dickheads or like too difficult to work with and all this other stuff, when unfortunately it's just because I didn't want to like kneel down and roll over when someone who has more money than me is telling me what to do.
Yeah, I got you.
You know, like it's really just that thing of authenticity again, and just staying true to you and knowing you've got a good idea instead of listening to the man who's got a checkbook who's never been on stage before.
Fucking A, man.
Yeah,
that's dude. Well, first of all, again, new album coming out soon. Injury Episode. That's a hard fucking name, by the way. That's sick.
Thanks, bro. I literally had it before the album was done.
I was about to say that's crazy because it's real life. So I'm like, damn. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm like, it sounds hard on like as like a on paper. You know.
It came together. Like I already had it kind of down when we'd finished the last record. I had it written down. Like I got a list on my phone, and it just goes on for days. But like I was going through a lot of shit around the time that the last record came out. Pause. I'm just keeping it too real.
Dude, I love talking with feel good people that are just real as fuck. Yeah. Like it's like as we're talking, it's like one of those things where I think people again, and sometimes I have people real as fuck that I disagree with things on, and I like that. Like I want to talk with you. Like I want to talk with people so I can educate myself, so that we can learn, we can come out of that conversation fucking more enlightened, right? And that's where I hate that the scene like is so against that. They're so against it. They fight against it, if anything. And I'm like,
it's herd mentality a lot of the time, man. It's like, oh, you have a different opinion to me? Well, you're fucking wrong. And it's just like, look how loud I can be. And it's that thing it goes back to where you're saying people like say tweets spouting shit and they'll make money off it. And I'm like, people these days are getting played so hard. Sometimes they it's even realize.
A lot of it is very gamified. Right, as a person who grew up as a gamer, like I'm very when I see gamifying, I know exactly when it's happening, and it was weird because when I started this, again, this wasn't a thing. It wasn't YouTube. It wasn't go do this so you can get your clicks, so you can make maximum AdSense or any of that bullshit. Right? There was, I did covers for 5 years that were copyright, so I don't have. I still have my AdSense slips. They said 50 cents. I'm proud of that because I'm just like. Until like 2018, 2019, I was just like, yeah, because I fucking like doing this shit, so I'm gonna do it. I don't care. And it's just like that's a part of the grind. Where nowadays the incentive is always like, no, make money first instead of give people fucking value, and you will be rewarded for giving people value. It's not a fucking fucked up thing, and that's something where everyone is always chasing the instant bag instead of chasing fulfillment, chasing value, being better you so you can give people more things. You will get it in return. Like, what the fuck?
Listening with your wallet's never going to help you out in the long run, bro. It's never that.
Anytime I've looked at it with YouTube, even my career, 12 years, anytime I started, there was moments where you start to, you're like, oh, fuck, things. You start, I got like a 10 out of 10. I don't know if you know what I mean. Like on YouTube, a video, you upload something, and it's like you're supposed to get 1 out of 10 is the highest, right? You're like, oh, yeah, feels good. You see all the numbers, all the pointers are fucking green. Good job, buddy, right? And when you get those 10 out of 10s, you just want to like literally like ruin your day. Like you just want to go outside and just be like, do I finish this right? Like it's intense where you get to those moments, and it's like you become your whole meaning in your life becomes attached to this, even though it was initially, and it never is meant to. But because of how the system has become in the algorithms, it's
the dopamine, bro.
It is the dopamine, 100%.
It's the dopamine.
And as soon as I started in my time, whenever I would disconnect from that and literally say, why? I don't care. This doesn't define me. I'd feel the best. Ironically, would actually make the most at the same time. And everything's better. Relationships are better. My life's better. I'm healthier. And I'm just like spending, it takes so many times to do that, to kind of like fuck yourself over and learn that when you're just like, again, that's what part of fucking leaving. I'm just like, I'm happy with this. I did. I fucking left. And coming back, if I want to. I'm going to have some fucking fun. I did the thing, And I want to chat with people. I want to write music and have a good fucking time. And if that brings value to people and it brings it back, cool. Otherwise, I'm chill because I could pay fucking rent and I just want to do what I want to do with my life and be fulfilled. That's it.
Real. I mean, look, no one's born perfect
Yep.
at the end of the day with this shit. So I hope people stop pretending someday.
Yep.
I really hope people stop pretending someday, and like it's okay to have bad days, it's okay to say the wrong thing sometimes, and it's okay to like, just make a fucking mistake and make a bad note or do some shit wrong. What shows your character is how you deal with that after the fact, and whether you take the time to fucking sort yourself out and like, I don't know, undo what you did or some other shit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's all about how you handle yourself afterwards.
Yep.
If you keep making the same mistake, then yeah, you fucking suck. But like,
then you're a dumbass. Then you fail. Then failing isn't failing. Unless you actually don't fucking learn anything. Then you failed. Fuck you.
It's the point of insanity, isn't it? Where it's like, to do the same thing again, expect a different outcome.
Yep.
Is like the definition of insanity or some shit like that.
Yeah, it's exactly that, dude.
Dude,
this is way insightful. It's been lovely fucking shooting the shit, might I add, my dude.
But honestly, yeah, I've had a great time with this one. Where were we before the last crash out, the camera crash out? Sorry, Arthur. There with you again.
Sorry, the album. Right, the album. The album in general. You were talking about Hunter, working with him, giving you a perspective as well on things. I think we were
so I mean, I could just run it from the top. So
go for it.
The record itself, we created it with Eric Bickerstaff, doing it over several different sessions, just kind of written out of Airbnbs, and then we kind of finished it off ourselves in a separate Airbnb, and we did like just some extra writing and stuff like that. Got it all to a point, tracked it at our studio, just in our rehearsal spot, just tracked it all in there. Vin engineered everything. Like, he's just one of the most insanely underrated engineers and guitarists and even mixers in the fucking game. Mm-hmm. I'm so glad to be in a band with him because he's truly one of the most intelligent people I've ever fucking met. Like, it's fucked. But so yeah, we did all that ourselves, and then it got to a point where kind of Eric was too kind of busy to finish it because he was working on so much other shit and, touring with Load all the time. So it was just like, right, we got to get this done. Mm-hmm. We were too busy touring as well. And then there was hand-in dates. So Hunter did a song with us before. It was Hunter and Brandon at Digital Ghost Audio. And we were just like, right, we'll go back, because we went and had some test mixes done elsewhere and no one was getting it. But the thing is, I'll always bat for my friends, like, over anyone in this fucking shit. But I will always bat for someone who will just keep trying until they get it. Because a lot of this time, you'll send stuff for people to mix, and they'll go, "This is what I can do. That's it." But these guys were willing to just keep working with us until we got the result that everyone was happy with. So we were having some problems at first and we couldn't get it sorted out. So Vin ended up mixing all the drums and then handing over essentially a bus print of the drum mix over to Brandon and Hunter. And then we mixed everything on top of it. So the drums are like their own thing.
That's sick. Yeah.
And then it's on top of that because we were after this like raw sound, room sound. And I think just the world that they kind of come from and their like expertise is in is just not where we kind of sit. But this is the thing, doesn't make them incapable. It just means they have a different approach. So we applied what we wanted to them, what they could do. And it was just this, there was a long back and forth of getting everything done. Like there was a Zoom call that I was on with them until like, I want to say like 6 a.m. this time. And mind you, got to like realize as well, whilst this is getting mixed, I'm suffering from the aftermath of everything that happened on that tour.
Fuck. Yeah.
So we're mixing something one day and I'm like, beast, this is great. I wake up the next and I listen to it and I go, what the fuck
You're
was
like,
I
why
on
is there
yesterday?
so much random 8K buzzing right here? And you're like, oh,
dude,
fuck.
it was like, there was times where I just wouldn't even remember we'd done a song. And I was like, oh, we're doing that song? And they were like, dude, we did that like a month ago. And I was like, oh yeah, check the Dropbox. Like it was like bad. So
Right.
having moral support with them through that as well was cool. So yeah, I got it mixed and mastered by them, like with us on board as well. Everything you hear on the record is real, is like a real instrument. There's like a couple samples, but they're homemade samples. They're not like spliced, drag and drop done.
Oh, they were
Like,
in studio, do fun shit kind of samples? Hell
or it's like set your phone to record and like we've got the Nespresso shaker. It's some packet coffees, do you know, like the instant
Yeah,
coffee
yeah,
sachets.
yeah.
We've got them in the studio and we're just like, these are the best shakers in the world. And it's so funny that those make it onto things sometimes. But yeah, it's like everything you hear on this record is real, like real life, everything all together. It's an encapsulation of time, which I think is what a record should be to people. It shows where we were kind of at now. It's definitely a lot more mature than the last one. Like this whole revival core that's kind of like picked up in the last few years or last year or so especially. It's definitely not in that lane, which I think when we first started, we were very much pushed into. There's nods to it, again, to the authenticity thing that we spoke about before. There's definitely nods to it, so people would still be like, oh, it's still like an emo band, because that's ultimately what this is. Static Dress is an emo band.
Right.
Like, people were like, oh, it's a post-hardcore band, oh, it's a metalcore band. It's like, we're not a metalcore band. Pause. This fucking camera, bruv! It's been through a lot of different iterations and it's been a lot of pain putting this together. It's the most honest we've ever been with anything putting this together as well. Writing this was very, very difficult because there's a lot of times where, like, from what I can remember of writing it, there's a lot of hard shit I talk about on this that I can't really relate to anyone else in my life has gone through. For better or worse, that being said. And I feel like if you can relate to some of the things that are said on this record, I feel for you, and I'm sorry that you're doing that. Like there's some heavy subject matter on this shit. There's a bunch of songs directed at certain people, and I know that when they hear it, they're gonna know it's about them. Which is also a nice little treat for you there. But like there's just been a lot of shit over the years. It's like I'm not an internet public person really. Like I'm not like, oh, this person fucked me off or this person fucked me over and like posting about it. Like I'm like, well, do you know the craziest thing is I can embed this in a song for the rest of time.
Yep.
And that's gonna hit harder than any Instagram story that I'm
That's
gonna
a much bigger fuck you than an Instagram story, that's for sure, dude.
Yeah, also. So, and like, as a songwriting perspective as well, this is us just changing and morphing and, you know, being way more experimental and trying things. And who knows, it might absolutely flop and suck, but at least we say that we tried and we did something different. And it's like the songs live, we've been playing a few of them already that aren't out.
Yeah.
And on the tours, we've realized that those songs go off more than songs that have been out for like 3 years.
That's sick. That's dope.
And I'm like, right, well, clearly there's something right here. Like, unless people hate the record and they just like it live, kind of also fine with that because then we turn up and have a good time and, you know,
Fuck it, dude.
all this other stuff. Like, might be the last record we ever do, might not. But,
Yeah.
like, we had a lot of fun in certain aspects of it, a lot of it was hell, but we learned a lot about ourselves when putting it all together and getting it done. I think we learned how to do it the right way, definitely, for whenever we do something again. And I think it's just an album that displays growth in all formats, whether it be lyrically, sonically, musically, or instrumentation, bro. Like, I know you're a good guitarist and that, but there's some parts on this where I'm genuinely sitting there and looking at some of the chords he's fucking coming out with, and I'm like my music theory is way too caveman for how this is going. Like he's like over this, and I'm like,
dude,
yeah.
the finger twisters fuck with me, dude. I mean, I those are one of some of the most annoying shit to always to try to play, especially like if you have to fucking play it in the moment live. Fuck that.
I think one of the hardest songs for us to track was one of the softest ones. One of the we got like an acoustic guitar part in there, and the chords he picked for it, because he's got like classical training on him and stuff. Like he just knows music theory. He's fucked. But like some of the chords he was coming out with were insane. Like we'd be in the studio writing it, whatever, and we come to a part, and Eric would literally turn to him and go, "Give me a chord," and he was like, this, and he'd do it, and we'd do it in separate moments. Then we like come to playing it, and I'm just watching him be like, "This is fucking shit." Like actually like playing it, he's like, "This is fucking bollocks." And it's funny because it's the most like chill song on the record.
Yeah.
But when you actually sit there and like try to figure out the guitar parts, because it's just one guitar making all the notes, you're like,
oh, okay, yep.
It's scum. But that's really cool as well, because now live we don't have a ghost guitar track anymore.
Fuck yeah,
like
that's it.
We just suck that off. So what you see is what you get. So a lot of this record as well is single track guitar, track guitar sent out through 2 amps.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
You guys didn't even do LR?
So there's a cut like this. There is moments where it's LR. There's moments where, you know, obviously sonically it makes a lot of sense, but there's a lot of moments where it is just single track guitar.
Wow, that's
like either processed or it's got some other fucking shit. Like I don't know the ins and outs of it, but like a lot of this it's one guitar part.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be left right, but it's one guitar part rather than one's doing a lead, one's doing another thing. It's like you will make a lot out of one guitar part and make it happen and make it work. Like, and it's just, I don't know. You hear where it's not together. So we got bass parts now where like George is actually playing like bass lines rather than just doing like root note. There you go, that's easy.
Rather than copy pasting the audio to MIDI and then making it an octave lower.
literally it. Like it's like he's actually playing full bass runs and like lines, and you can hear it in music. And then I'm left with this space to just sing over because you've got the guitars dancing, you've got the bass holding it down, but also moving and shifting. The drums, he's fucking playing whatever the fuck he wants to do. I don't know. Yeah. But then I'm having to find where I can sing in that. So a lot of the times for me, it was a big challenge to go, where the fuck am I meant to be here?
Yep.
Because you listen to the instrumental and it's that full.
Yep.
That it's like when someone tries to do a vocal cover over an Animals as Leaders song. You know, when someone's like throwing it and you're like, this sounds like ass. There were so many more, like, I'm not saying it sounds anything like that, but there was moments where I was like, where am I meant to go?
You gotta find the space because it's tricky. Because because if you can listen to something instrumentally, or what I love doing with the session is when you fucking finish it up and you solo the prod sometimes, or you solo like or like
it sounds like a full song,
It's something, and then you're like, "Fuck, is this version better than what I'm trying to release?" Because it's just like the layers are like so like cohesive.
And I mean, that dude, that's the fun thing on this record is you could go and do that, but it wouldn't sound like a full song anymore. Like it has moments where there's just nothing else going on. There's a lot more dynamic range than the last record or anything else that we've done before. There's so much more dynamic range to it, and like I say, I think a lot of people who listen to like modern heavy music now might in the instance turn off with it like immediately because it's like, oh well, it doesn't sound like it's kicking me in the head all the time and all this other shit. But I'm like, this record is a classic car and the last record was like a pit bike, like a mini motor, you know, like the last it was like, oh, it's fun and it's new and it's exciting. It's like, yay. This one, I'm like, not everyone's gonna get it, but those who get it are gonna love it for a long time.
It's gonna have the staying power. Which is important.
Like that's what I want with it more than anything, and I want to be able to just, you know, like I can see myself playing a lot of these songs on this record in like 20 years time if we
That's important.
Versus the last record where there's like 80% of it I'm like, fuck this, like, you know, like there's like a lot of it where I'm like, I'm not that person anymore.
Well, speaking of playing, are you guys gonna be playing some of, I guess by that time, for the Bring Me show? I know that's like that's a crazy lineup that's
Yeah,
going
man,
there.
it's a good time. I mean, we got some special treats up our sleeve for that, which is going to be sick. Still just kind of figuring it out because we're just going from tour to tour to tour to tour to tour right now. So prepping any sets and like getting stuff together and thinking about things is a bit like stress for us. But I know we've done it sometimes where we just run trackless and we're like, all right, cool, no click, no nothing. Let's just go. So we'll be figuring something out there and doing something cool. But I just that coming back and that doing it, I'm like, I remember hearing about it originally. Like, I remember hearing like the whispers about it at first, and I was like, that is absolutely insane.
I mean,
If they
yeah,
do
to
it, like,
redo Count Your Blessings is like, okay, like that is, let's, the band does not sound like Count Your Blessings anymore, which is cool. They sound great how they sound, and that's why it's like, let's go to the most extreme fucking psycho version of us and introduce
Yeah.
this to the audience that maybe some of you have gotten into us with ammo. I think
sure.
that's fucking crazy.
I'm interested to see how it goes down live
Yeah.
because like for me, that record through my sister was the first time I'd ever heard of them, and like the EP before it and stuff. That's what I knew Bring Me the Horizon as.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see who turns up to be like, I like Bring Me the Horizon versus I like this album.
I was gonna say, so and I don't know, I saw something, is there a barricade in that show or not?
No, it'll be Outbreak, no Barricade. Which I'm also excited to see.
Fuck, dude.
I'm also excited to see how mental people are because
it's either going to be the most mental thing, and then you're going to have people just like this. It's going to be one and the other, and the problem is the people with the phone, bro. You're going to die. Like you're what are you? You can't be in that area with your phone. It's
happens
not
all the
happening.
time. Happens all the time, and this is where I'm like, this is where it's going to become interesting to see who is there for that album and who is there for Bring Me themselves. You feel me?
Yeah,
like. It is very, very interesting to see because Bring Me are so big that they exist in their own sphere and they exist in their own world where people go, like, they don't go, oh, I love metal and I love stuff. They just go, I'm a Bring Me the Horizon fan.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely fine. Like, that is absolutely fine. But I think this is going to be the first time where there's a lot of people who are like, I love that album and how fucking mental it is, and I love moshing and I love stage diving and I love all this crazy shit.
Yeah.
Like the new breed of people who found that record, who love it. Like there's kids who now know that record back to front.
Yep. That's insane. Yeah, young kids that have never heard, probably never even listened to deathcore. Some of that, and they're like, "This is awesome."
But like,
that's insane.
There's kids who listen to deathcore and they only know Bring Me as that version, so they'll turn up and be like, "Right, I'm moshing, I'm doing all this shit," and I'm like, "That's dope." But what I find really interesting is going to be the 19 to 26-year-old demographic who are just like, I follow Ollie Sykes on the internet and what is going on? Like that's what I'm excited
I will
to see.
To those people, first of all, feel free to go in that pit, but goddamn have fucking health insurance. Oh wait, or fuck, like please.
Oh no, dude, you're clear over here.
Oh, you're in UK.
Shout out
Okay,
the NHS.
Never mind.
Shout out the NHS every time.
Get fucked up. Get fucked up.
I'm just saying, have fun. Don't put your phone in front of your face the entire night. Just be part of something because it all gets filmed anyway. So you can show it to your friends afterwards. No one needs to know you're there. Just have fun living in the moment.
Just like safety, like seriously, dude, it's not gonna be. That's why it's not just moshing, bro. There is the deathcore kids, as you mentioned, that like grew up with that. Yeah, that is gonna be fucking karate in the pit times 70, dude. It's gonna be.
I hope. Do you know what? I hope it is.
Yeah.
I worry it might not be. I worry it might just be like old heads who were the age of when it came out, right? No, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like I'm worried it might be that, and then like really, really young kids, and it just like nothing happens, or like there's like 10 stage dives for like Pray for Plagues, and then past that everyone's just like,
it's the song, bro.
yeah. But I'm just praying that it's just like a cultural moment for everyone because it's kind of that thing at the end of the day where it's just like, if one person in this scene wins, it's a win for everyone.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, like, it's going to be monumental. It's going to be great. And they're running it 2 days back to back. And then as soon as we've done that, we literally fly to go and tour with Motionless in White the next day.
Oh,
so
dude.
I'm like...
Y'all are busy, man.
I'm just like, what the fuck? Like Motionless in White for me, like, it's a band that me and George bonded over so much when he joined because I was just like, goddamn, man. It's just... It's like Breaking Benjamin, but like makeup and super over the top. Like it's
Dude, Breaking Benjamin's fucking dude, I think so many of those 2000 like Breaking Benjamin, like 3 Days Grace, like X-Air. There's so many of those sick bands, and they had heavy riffs. But Breaking Benjamin,
Chevelle and stuff like that.
Yeah, particularly Breaking, bro. They were arguably the heaviest like rock band. It's that weird line where like they were on the radio, but they were tuning down to drop A sharp, motherfucker, and they had sick riffs, and it's like. That's awesome, but they were radio friendly, which is hilarious, you know?
Dude, I'm telling you, do you know why? Because they had time to write things.
Yeah, that's fair.
They weren't going, oh, what's the content that we can put out? And oh, what should our brand be? And what should my fucking TikTok funny meme be about today?
Right.
It was just, hey, I exist in this band and I'm going to write this record that's so good that it exists in the sphere of Halo. Fuck me, bro.
Oh, dude,
like,
yes. Yep.
You know, like they really, it's just allowing bands to have time, and it's allowing creatives to, like, you know, get bored. Like, you need to get bored in life in order to create something. And it's something that once this record's kind of out, I'm going away and doing. Like, I'm doing another phone retreat where I put my phone away for 5 days and I don't talk to anyone or do anything because I need to allow myself to calm the noise down in my head, because it gets fucking over consuming sometimes, man. And I'm like, I need to be able to be bored to create the things. Like when I did the first fucking release, it was like that was almost a year and a half in the making since we finished recording it, and that was just a single, you know. And that was a year and a half of like doing the videos and figuring out how to edit music videos, and then figuring that out, and then it came out and just went boop, and I was like, oh,
there you go.
All right.
Yeah.
There's a band now. And,
right.
But that's the thing. It took the time to curate and happen. And you're never going to strike gold if you don't take the time to think about it first.
Yep, dude. Everybody, Olli, Static Dress, go check out the new record when it comes out, Injury episode. See them on tour everywhere, as far as everywhere. I have, just basically everywhere. And dude,
they were doing the US with Motionless in White. We're doing the UK a bunch as well. So just come wherever, have some fun.
And if you stream, go watch Olli on where you stream, usually Twitch.
Yeah, it's mainly on Twitch. It's hilarious because you will watch me struggle miserably, as you've probably heard throughout this, of my camera dying and me freaking out.
The same experience? Good, that's good.
It's not that same experience. It's normally me, like, because I use a tactile keyboard on my Mac, and then I come to like using this piece of shit like £10 one on PC. I go to using it, and obviously with these on, it doesn't really help. So I'm like, and I'll just hit the wrong thing, and then all of a sudden like the camera's changed angle or something's come up or I haven't transitioned something, and then I'm like sat there like, oh good, there's now music just blasting out and I can't make it stop. So
perfect.
Yeah, if you want to come follow us on all the things, it's literally just at Static Dress, and it's there. It's a good laugh, but
sounds good. Fuck yeah. All everybody, thank you. There we go, dude.
Cheers, man.